We await July PPI data just coming through here. 0.9% it looks like to the upside on the month-over-month number. Higher than expected. Again, 0.9% versus 0.2 was the forecast. Core PPI exactly the same, 0.9% versus a 0.1% print expected. Initial jobless claims, 224,000 on the week versus 228,000. Ongoing claims basically unchanged, which is notable. 1.95 million versus 1.97 million forecast that was expected there. So we'll touch on that, I'm sure, coming up here. But jobless claims 4-week average 221.7 versus 223. So downside ever so slightly. That's basically it. We are going to get some long-term debt auctions coming up a little bit later on in the day. But as far as the overall market here, not liking that at all. To the downside we go here a little bit anyways for futures to start things off after what happened yesterday. A lot to discuss on the individual side of things, a lot to discuss on the market side of things today. A week away right now, Sharif, this time in a week, Thursday, we'll get Jackson Hole.
I was just about to mention it.
For 2025, which is going to be, I think, a very important couple of days, Thursday, Friday. It usually kicks off with the Fed chair.
Yep.
And then we'll get a whole bunch of Fed members to follow with comments. We've had a couple over the past couple of days, still more on the dovish side of things. Yep. But is there still room now that we're, it was 93, 94% at the end of the day yesterday. For a cut coming in September.
Yeah, we're close to 100% probability for a rate cut in September, Brendo. I'll never forget Jackson Hole in 2022 when he used the words higher for longer. It was late August. Go have a look at the daily charts on any of the moving averages back in August of 2022. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And we sold off aggressively into October. We didn't make new highs, Brendo, until the following January. So I remember that day very well. Yeah, that's a big miss there, Brendo, because we were expecting a 0.2% rise in July after having a flat June for PPI. It stands to reason that if we see the tariff-related inflation, it would come in the products, the input costs, right? Because you're going to see that in commodities. You're going to see it with some of the producers and manufacturing side, not directly into the retail side. That could come later. So this makes sense, and it does actually kind of make sense why we're selling off so aggressively.
I was reading an interesting report this morning talking about the Port of Los Angeles in July processing their highest ever shipping container volume.
Interesting.
In their 100-year plus history, as more and more producers are stockpiling inventory ahead of potential negative effects for tariffs to come yet. So we haven't necessarily seen the end of this or even close to it. But yeah, just to recap there, 3.3%. The overall headline number there versus 2.3% on US PPI year over year. So higher than expected. There's the reaction, guys, for the market. Good morning.
Well, you can't fire him again.
I mean, Trump looking to fire somebody right now real bad.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, who exactly is responsible for this move here?
Oh, man.
Time to get fired up. Yeah, no, I don't know. But right now, the Nasdaq, starting to head down. NVIDIA's down a point and a bit right here. We're starting to get hit pretty good right now as, there it comes, man. The warning is now in. 3.7 versus 2.9 on PPI. We thought yesterday we were cruising as we came in pretty much as expected there with the CPI, but the PPI is Tank City right now. There goes Tesla to the downside as well. Tesla 341 to 338 now. So maybe that interest rate cut that we were all thinking about, it was at 100%.
It was a hundo.
And
I didn't refresh yet, so you still have the old one if it's already updated.
No,
99.8% is what it was, and there was a chance.
Yeah, it must not be updated yet.
But when this updates, after that hot print, there's no chance.
I think it'll still be high 80s or 90s for sure.
But if they're looking for an excuse.
Bitcoin is Tank City right now. Bitcoin is really getting hit.
Oh, man.
19.5. I was just looking at this thing and it was like, oh, we're good to go here. Right now, I came in and told everybody I bought more Solana last night. What am I doing? BIT coin right now. Let's go have a quick little look to see what's happening right here, as they don't like this movement either. Let's go to a 1 minute chart. Why not? Wow, there it is. Whoops. That's losing the bid, needless to say. Yesterday, we clock it out, and I know there was talk on the midday show, I don't have my stream deck. Will Bitcoin hit all-time highs? Yesterday, or by the time they were done the midday. I don't think it did, but we did get it right there yesterday, 124.5. Congratulations. If you liked it at 124.5, how much do you like it now at 18 right now? Bitcoin starting to go to the downside and not very nice here either. Right back into possible support. I mean, if you're going to look for something to pick up, maybe 117 and change, 116 and change. We're now breaking 118. Bitcoin, what's going on, Joe? Bitcoin is absolutely tanking right now. I mean, that's a big move. This
At least ETH caught a bit at 45, hundo.
I was going to say, that was the next thing I was going to look up.
That dropped a few bills. No all-time high for Ethereum, but that just dropped. Look, everything is falling on this. I think maybe we try to calm down a little bit, but that's a hefty move. 2 bills, bounces clean off the 4,500 level. So ETH, no all-time high, but very close. The Nasdaq went from up to down 0.5%. Yeah, not looking good whatsoever, but we'll see. We've seen the reversal play before. I don't want to get too overly bearish. I want to see where those odds come back to. The good news is you don't have a bunch of we didn't have a lot of external catalysts. So like the market should really just be reacting to this. The president speaks oh goodness. The president speaks at 1 o'clock today.
Yeah, but that's
no. It's just it's going to be interesting. Let's just leave it at that. Whatever he was supposed to talk about at 1 o'clock, forget about that. We're going to get some talk about that number. I almost guarantee someone's fired.
Yeah. Someone's fired. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're gonna wait. But yeah, there goes Tesla 336. The market is getting hit right now on the back of this number. So, at the end of the day, the upside move is what we're all looking for. There goes Bitcoin. We just talked about it breaking 117 or whatever it broke. Well, now it's back to 119. So its low was 117.3 right there. 117.7, I guess. So you're right back up again. So there it goes, man. Buy the dips is what's happening over there. But is it happening elsewhere? AMD right now, 180. That just had a $3 move to the downside. Apple might be getting cracked. One of the worst ones. We got to look. Let's look over at Meta maybe. Apple's actually not doing anything, so that might be good. I'm just trying to think about like the high flying stocks. Maybe they'd be pulling back a little bit. Yeah, there's so Meta down $7, but again, it's a $700 name. Will anything stop Robinhood? Okay, 107.
Yesterday was rough for Robinhood.
No, I know, but didn't battle back a little bit there at the end. But here's a straight downside move of $2. Okay, well, on here written already before this number, we had the TQQ short and we had bullish short. So we'll continue that talk. He's taller now, baby. Now you have no choice. Now you're always that tall now because the desks are getting ready to go. Nice,
Don't
Randy.
have to look up that much.
You grew, man. Nice. Congratulations on that.
The blue. It's looking good, man.
People normally shrink with age, but that was a good one, man. Nice. Congrats, bro.
I'm still shrinking.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
We needed after this market move.
Have a Nasdaq shirt?
Which one is that? I don't have that one, but I do have.
I have a black one.
I
had a black one. I don't
Remember, man, we've been here for 25 years, my guy. That's funny. Like back in the day, they used to come and give us stuff.
Used to get so much.
Now we don't get
swag
anything now.
Yeah.
I got this from. Oh no, this is the wrong one. Your IEX one.
I got the IEX one
from Yeti.
From Yeti.
But we used to always get all this swag, and they used to come in and drop stuff off here. And
Brute used to always.
And it started becoming. I think it's like illegal to do that.
Well, because I think the idea being like you.
I mean, I love that Randy came here, but he did come
empty-handed.
empty-handed. He did come empty-handed.
Well, no, we got because he
that was
already.
a long time ago.
Already
Man.
dropped off
the coffee should have been what the reload was. Really.
He's busy building the desks.
Oh, okay.
Which we saw. We didn't see Randy until Mark and Rob. You saw all the work that got done, and then in the afternoon, when it was already pretty much done, you magically saw Randy again.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Right, exactly. This guy's a funny guy.
Oh, love him. Absolutely love him.
All right, let's go back over to the desk here. We can review some of these numbers, but there it is, man. The PPI comes 3.7 versus 2.9, and then what? Month over month, 0.9 versus 0.2. It's not great. It's sending the markets in a little bit of a tizzy here, boys.
Highest print since 2021, guys. Here's the visual of that on the month-over-month basis here. So here's what we just got. You got to go all the way back to December of 2021 to see the last time we were even close to that high. So a massive, massive miss, sending everything back to the downside here, including Apple. I mean, Apple with its own headline yesterday. I think the market was still trying to maybe jump on the bandwagon a little bit here in the pre-market. But I mean, this is going to change a lot of things as far as the overall market is concerned. as far as individual moves are concerned as well. Google with its own AI headline this morning as well. Back to the downside we go for both Apple and Google. Few interesting earnings to discuss here this morning as well. Cisco, one of those. No longer, it was trying to get back higher after the initial move yesterday, but no longer back to essentially where the lows were yesterday after the close.
It was a fantastic report from Cisco. They didn't destroy expectations, but they beat everywhere and they guided higher. So how can you complain? EPS came in at 99 pennies. The street wanted 98, so a beat on the bottom line. Likewise, on the top line, 14.67 billion was what they generated on the quarter. The street was looking for 14.62. They also grew revenue about 7.5%. year over year on the quarter, with net income, their take-home money, that profitability, 2.82 billion. Again, a nice beat from last year when they took 2.16 billion. And if they're guiding higher, Brendo, they're guiding higher for the next quarter as well as full year 2026. They're talking about EPS in the range of 97 to 99 pennies on revenue of 14.65 to 14.85 for the next quarter. That's Q1 of 26. And then full year 2026, Brendo, they're guiding up to $60 billion in revenue. Not a huge number, but when you compare it to their previous numbers, looks good.
Yeah, still on a higher time frame chart, still well intact as well for Cisco. Apple chart still well intact. This is a 15-minute chart. Yeah, pulling back with the overall market here, but still holding on to key support levels. Definitely, you missed it yesterday. Bloomberg, the first to report the AI push well underway at Apple on the device side of things, talking about a smart home center, essentially, that's going to be based off an upgraded version of Siri that will be able to travel with you from device to device, even into your car, things of that nature. But it's all going to center around a arm.
One of them has, yeah.
That is apparently going to be mobile. With a iPad-like control center, essentially, with a detachable arm that can essentially assist you, I take it, with day-to-day tasks within your home. So get ready for an Apple arm maybe to be following you around your home.
And your iPhone is the joystick, Brendo. So again, playing on that network, playing on that connection. Look, there's a lot of products here. It's probably going to be beyond the scope of this portion of the show to get through it. So join us on the midday when we do the news. We'll start the news around 1 o'clock. We'll go line by line, but there's multiple products. The tabletop robot, as Brendo mentioned, but there's also a smart home push as well. Home security expansion with cameras, all of this using AI. So they're basically using all these different products as kind of gateways to AI. And they also talked about the Siri overhaul. We're expecting that finally a loose date that is, spring of 2026 for an upgraded Siri. The flagship, though, that tabletop robot 2027.
As far as Apple has shown in the past, focusing on the hardware side of things, which they do, everyone knows, so very, very well, and not necessarily on the software side of things, but going to utilize tools, AI tools that are already available to them for this. So if it does come, expect it to be, top tier as far as quality is concerned, guys. But Apple smart arm to come, apparently, for your home pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds intriguing to me. I want to see it.
Yeah, I want to see the picture.
Like, give us I don't need a working prototype. Give us a concept so we can have an idea of what it might look like. I don't want to imagine it. It sounds all great and it sounds cool. And before that number, I would have told you I want to break out the highs today, but I don't know. Maybe that still happens. I think that's a little bit less likely. No, I do like the fact that, hey, this is the #1 hardware company. So, if they're going to focus, if that's what the focus is going to be, then move down that line and sort of go all in, right? Like stick to what you're good at. I can buy that. I have no issues buying that, and it makes a lot of sense. That said, if we don't get one of those 830 number shocks us and we bounce the other way, the plan, when you look at the trend, technically it was just sort of set up on Apple to be break, consolidation, half break. Either we're consolidating or breaking the high. And consolidating meant dipping into 230 to 231 or breaking out that 235 high. So that was the plan of action. I don't know that I get away from the dip buy here into that low 30 range. I feel if we get down there, you take one shot at these prior highs, go for it from there. When you're talking about something that's not coming for till 2027, like we're a ways away from that. So it's not like a gigantic catalyst here to overweigh the market. Ultimately, And you have to remember, before this announcement and with all the disappointment in AI, this was already trending and breaking back out on trend because money is, you know, we got a lot of money out there and it's chasing a few good companies at this moment. And so it just keeps jumping from one to another. And for the moment, at least the last couple of weeks, Apple has been one of those. I mean, you can make the argument with Google, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure, at some point as well. But yeah, I still feel like overall bullish in this move. You're just going to have to be patient with it today. Because before we got that number, Apple had a chance to break out that top before the market even opened. It was like 40 cents away or something like that. Obviously, it's going to take some work for it to get there. So the dip is the only play.
Yeah, no, so for me, for Apple, it's on the sticky note. I'm just putting it out right now. We got it out a little bit. We'll have it out a little bit earlier, right into here. Yeah, sort of same thing that Neil was talking about. Good stock yesterday, you know, was pretty decent early with that move up. And then we kind of just like edged a little bit higher, but we didn't get too much movement on this tabletop news here. I mean, I think that was sort of where the spike came out about their new AI sort of project, and they're trying to fix up Siri and get that going a little bit. We do have the Worldwide Developers Conference. I think those are always, or the release of the new phone in September, so that's coming down. So hopefully there'll be some talk there about this AI robot, and we'll find out some more about that. I'm not super excited about it. I don't really understand anything, like what a thing with an arm, what's it gonna do, pour my coffee? I don't understand like what this thing's gonna do exactly, but we'll figure it all out. But to 232 looks pretty good, but the level that I'm going to write down is the same thing as 230. I feel like we just got spooked by that number. It's the market could battle back a little bit, but I definitely for Apple, I don't want to fade it. I just want to go long. So yeah, I like the product. The wife got her phone all hooked up last night, so she's excited for that. And
important question.
Yeah.
Could you get it connected to the internet? I know that could be.
I had to message Joe.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, it was really easy to transfer from one phone to another, and I don't know.
Oh, it's tricky, man.
He thought it was pretty easy.
It's not hard. It's not easy to do.
But she's really advanced on all that. But no, actually, all you have to do is just put the two phones beside each other, and they just transfer over everything, and then it was literally that easy. But I know that's the thing. Poor Joe had a different experience over there. Yeah, anyways, it was all good. So Bitcoin battling back. It's back to 19.6 right now and starting to go. So there was the move there on Bitcoin. This is what it looks like, and you're almost, not all the way back, but if we go over to like a 10-minute chart here, whoa, all these ads. We talked about where it ran right into support, right? But we've been here. This is just only last week. This level is from the 10th, so last Sunday. So 4 days ago, and it looks like we got bought right back up, and now we're trading right into here. So there's the dip down into 118, and here's the battle back up to 120 essentially again. So from 124, and look, I mean, I don't think that was overreaction. That was 124. Like when we're like the stock, this is tanking. Like that went from basically 122 and change to right here to where we were. And this is a 10-minute chart, so this or 15, so it's not exactly that, but that move could have kept going, but did find buyers. So, you know, I think if the market does hit a little bit lower, maybe 16.5, 16, something like that, once the market opens up, but there's another big area right into here of some consolidation. So, yeah, Bitcoin right now trying to do its best to get back to those, back through 120, I guess, is the answer there. But, oh, you said Ethereum was moving. Let's just see what ETHA is, because I know there's some.
It held 45 for a bit.
Okay, so down 3% right here today. Again, if you like the stock, you like the stock. 3%'s not, I mean, it's a coin, but 3%'s not going to affect anything. It's actually smart contracts. We talked about that, Ethereum versus Solana there today as well. So, yeah, man, the market has not been this low since Monday.
Oh, no.
Shout out to someone in the chat there. Yeah, what's up, Big Sky?
For one, I'm scared.
He's like, oh my gosh, we're back down to where Monday's levels were. And yeah, I mean, but that's how the market works, right? I mean, unfortunately, when we talk like that, it's not. It might not even be Monday, my guy.
Hold on a second.
This is yesterday. This is the Wednesday. Yeah, Monday the 12th.
Oh,
was Monday the 12th? But anyways, we're right into here. 11. Yeah, noon on the 12th. Today is 12th was Tuesday.
We're nowhere near Monday.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Maybe the Monday high.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
Anyways,
it could be worse. It could be GUR.
Yeah, what just happened with GUR?
I don't know what just happened with GUR. Like, was this a technical break? My first thought was, what, did these guys just drop an offering after we got that hot? Sorry? Oh, the earnings call is on right now. Oh. Yeah, well, somebody said something that they didn't like. You don't usually, you see moves, but for a stock that was doing pretty well in the pre-market, insert all of your puns right there. It's angry. Yeah, that's nasty. My assumption was offering, not just that it was something that got said on the conference call. So maybe this one isn't going to be the great runner today. Looked like it was poised. It was like gap up, holding VWAP. Maybe this was going to be a breaker. Not so much anymore, unfortunately, for GRR. Yeah, earnings calls. Got to be careful when they report in the morning. One thing gets said, and you can have a stop or whatever. But I'm imagining you had no liquidity to be able to get out of that on GRR. So always be careful trading these things that have conference calls in the pre-market. Very volatile. Yuck. Hopefully no one got hurt there.
All right, let's go see what the desk has to say about all of this.
I would just keep an eye on yields as well, guys. Yields back to the upside in a pretty big way here. Here's a 10-year. This is a 15-minute chart, so a nice spike from 4.20 essentially to 4.2.5. For, again, the 10-year, 30-year, essentially looks the same. I was trying to find the 2-year. I couldn't get a chart ready, but the 2-year higher than that, even on this number. Again, hotter than expected if you're just joining. On the PPI side of things, we can do a quick recap here. 0.9% was the month-over-month number. Expected to be 0.2%, so almost a full percentage miss to the upside there. The headline number comes in, or core anyways, 3.7, the expectation, let's just say in the twos. So well off where we were hoping for things to be at this point. I was just hearing, Tesla trying to bounce here. I was just hearing Tesla day lows, but that might have been a little bit delayed on that. So 335 comes into play there for Tesla, trying to bounce. I mean, a lot of these stocks testing a couple of days support levels.
They got some good news today, even though they're at lows. Brendo, they got some Norway numbers, and we know Norway, kind of a leader in Europe for adopting Teslas. One of the first countries outside the United States to actually have superchargers installed. And Tesla reported a 24% increase year to date in Norway sales for the first half of 2025. They sold about 13,000, a little bit more than 13,000 cars and that were registered. They sold about 10,500 a year ago, so nice increase there. Norway's population is only 5.5 million, though, but they are early adopters of EV, well known to be. The country was the first outside North America, as I mentioned, to have superchargers, but they're still facing double-digit declines, Brendo. In Europe, UK sales dropped about 60%. 60%, man. For last month, they only sold 987 cars in all of England. And what is the population of the UK? I think like 80 million, maybe a little bit less. So a tough look.
Yeah, I mean, and then you got to consider what we were just talking about with Apple now jumping into the robot game as well. It might
absolutely
pressure Elon a little bit also. If we're ready, guys, let's jump over to Adair, get some upgrades and downgrades.
Some pretty interesting ones here, starting with CVS Health, getting an upgrade from Robert W. Baird this morning. Dow Chemical here with an upgrade from BofA Securities. Query AI with a Mizuho upgrade, and D-Local getting upgraded here by HSBC Securities, up about 24% so far this morning. eBay starting things off here on the downgrade side of things with a negative note from Argus. Fortinet, which we know got hit pretty hard last week on earnings, today getting a downgrade here from the Erste Group. SAP here also with an Erste Group downgrade, and the same analyst once again here, this time downgrading Lam Research, which is actually up right now on the day. Over to you.
Erste Group is busy.
Very, very busy.
Standing on business there, apparently.
They got to get their work done
today.
Good for them. Fortinet come on, kick them while they're down. Wait till we gap down on those earnings. Well, you know what? Fortinet, I think a lot of people, myself included, when they reported, they felt it was a little bit too far to the downside. And I don't know how much you care about the timing of the upgrades and downgrades, but it's been on a good rally. I do question whether the market move here is going to matter more than the downgrade. It felt like this was going to make the next step in recovery today, and best laid plans and all that good stuff. Probably the other thing could easily happen. Like Fortinet was absolutely primed to fill in the gap. It seemed like it anywhere to make the run at fill in the gap, like the day 180 top consolidation, a couple of break and consolidation pattern set up. Maybe we're not going to see that happen today, but I still think this was one that got beaten too far up there. And if you gave it a couple of days, it settled into a couple of days, and it settled into a nice little upward trend. That downgrade might just give you a chance to buy that at those earnings lows again. We'll see. Not going to be on the list today because would have been more interesting for a breakout play than what we're seeing here.
All right, $8 for 100 shares, which isn't that much. Obviously, I'm going to do that for blush.
But it's more than yesterday. You know what? I bet you it'll come down like yesterday.
Yeah, I just paid for it, but whatever. We'll buy little shares now, short, and then So I don't know. When we see Fortinet there, obviously cybersecurity. We had a good day yesterday from Palo Alto. Didn't end well, but we still end up positive yesterday, up a couple percentage points for Palo Alto. That bottom, I don't know. I hope it's in. I mean, we bought around here. So that would be nice if we kind of try to hold that. There it goes down to 166 and yeah, exactly. Okay, so Sharif likes this play as well. But down here into 167 would have been a great buy, but you're up to 177 now. And I just think down today, obviously catching some of that shrapnel from that Fortinet. But at the end of the day, I think you got to play trends, right? And I think right now cybersecurity, as my hair's flying everywhere, cybersecurity is something that we want to be involved with, right? So I only own these two names, CrowdStrike and Palo Alto. So I'm going to still try to buy dips in these names. And I think right now you might be getting one as well in CrowdStrike. So these things kind of go with the flow, and at some point they'll be back into positive land. Talk nicely about, we don't have to worry too much about valuation anymore now that they've come down about this 10 or 15% each, right? If not a little bit more. So I would say you're starting to get probably fairly priced now, and maybe an upside play in the rest of the space. You get the hack ETF or things like that, but I like the trend. I like the the secular trend there with cybersecurity, and I think it's going to continue to work out for us for a little while here, especially in the environment that we're in. I mean, even my son yesterday, I was talking to him about the Bullish IPO and things like that, and he said, well, how come nobody has hacked into the stock market yet? And I'm kind of like, yeah, I mean, that's...
Who says they have?
And that's part of it. Like someday we could, all of a sudden quotes go down and you have no idea what's going on and blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's kind of,
It was last year, there was an issue with the NYSE.
Oh, sometimes there's issues, for sure.
Now and then.
And they could be hacks, they don't want to announce them. But he was more like, what happens if all of a sudden, the stocks kind of, freeze for a much longer period of time. And I was like, yeah, that's true. Or people hack into your brokerage accounts. That was part of the problem. And look, this is this is all way out there, but that happened with that Mt. Gox back there when Bitcoin was like $300 or $400. Yep. They hacked in, took a whole bunch of those away. So obviously cybersecurity has made inroads to protect against this kind of stuff. But, at the end of the day, there still is some fear with all of that. So, hey, Randy, how's it going? He's going good, it looks like. There, well, yeah, I don't need a haircut or anything, but maybe.
Do your worst.
There's nothing up there. Stay away.
What exactly?
I gotta leave whatever's up there, man. I see you went to my guy Halim. Randy, man, that was close, dude. I'm trying to, whatever's left up there, I got to keep it up there. But anyways, I got to go back.
That would have made for a good programming, though.
Randy. People say Randy's creeping in the background. Yeah, he's like those. He just Minecraft guys. When the lights go down.
Camera, man.
Yeah. What? Really?
Randy does like.
Oh man. All right. So we do have Nimitz coming by soon here. So one of the traders that have. We've all seen him many times, and we had Nimrod last week and Nimit this week, and it should be a fun time here today. So, all right, yeah, that's it. A little bit of talk here. It's 9 o'clock. We don't have a guest today, so we're just going through all these things. Wolf, that's up 37%.
TeraWolf is the one it looks like, I guess.
Yeah, so that might be one of the ones to trade today, up 37%. If there's any other names you guys want for us, we do have this. We could start this up right now, but we are going to go through our rundown. Here, why don't we just do this? Right now it's GUR. I think Neil was showing this before. It's Robinhood, it's Tesla, it's Amazon. So I'll just refresh this.
That was Wolf.
So now type in what you guys want here. We're going to go through our rundown, and then any stock that you type into your chat will be populated into our scanner here. And as they go, see, NVIDIA now got 2 votes. So as this starts to populate, Neil and myself and the whole bunch of us, Adair and everybody, will be able to see what names you guys are most interested in, and then we'll adjust and be able to cover these names as it goes. Why is Palantir always number one, man? I mean, but anyways, I'm happy with that. I love the retail play for Palantir. So, all right, well, let's go over to the desk. Make sure you do scan the QR code. We'll scan that one from Trade the Pool, but scan ours when it shows up. Go to the link in description, grab our watches. We're about to run it down. And I have a feeling that Sharif's going to talk about the market right about now.
Probably.
488, Sean. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES September contract. As you saw, we got that higher PPI print, and that pushed the market down, Brendo. We're still holding that 50-point area. I'm talking about 64.50, with the overnight low being exactly 64.53. So until we lose that 50-point area, let's use it as support. I'm talking about 64.50. If for whatever reason the market decides to change its tune and head back up, we're using 6,500 as resistance.
If you haven't done so yet, make sure you jump down to the description of this video, grab the watch list. It's absolutely free, comes right to your inbox every single day. All you need is your email address. Sign up at that link, and then you get that note sent right to your inbox, as I mentioned, every single day with everything that's moving around. In the pre-market, we didn't mention it in the first 30 minutes there, but space stocks to the upside today on those comments from Trump, saying he's going to further support the industry. I just saw Lunar LMNR pop up in front of me here. Virgin was moving around as well. I saw it early on this morning. Let's kick things off, though, and we'll talk some bullish after. Was it actually bullish?
A little bit.
I mean, it was obviously huge at the open, but didn't last too long. Quite the steep sell-off into the close. For bullish. Yes, we were higher here pre-market to the tune of, I think at one point it was about 17%. We've given basically most of that back here.
Yeah, with the sell-off. It was exciting here on the floor, though, Brendo. I mean, it's nice to have these IPOs. Everybody's raving. Everybody's getting up. So make sure to join us on the midday show for these IPOs, because they typically open up during our show. So let's talk about what this one did. So Bullish obviously owns CoinDesk. It was set to jump over 14% in the pre-market before the sell-off, up to 77.58. After closing yesterday, up 84% at $68. The IPO gave the company about a $10 billion market cap, which could rise to about 11.5 if the pre-market gains hold. Shares opened up, Brendo, at $90 yesterday and surged to about 118, obviously before parsing some of those gains and pulling back. More than tripling, though, above that $37 IPO price set by bankers and far exceeding that initial range of $32 to $33. It was oversubscribed at the IPO stage. To begin with, the IPO is being viewed as a strong test of investor demand for both cryptocurrency and public listing.
Minting not one but two new billionaires on that yesterday as well. Both co-founders joining the B Club, guys, as of yesterday.
That's how they get their money, and it works. And like ultimately, anybody look, if you got the issue price, you're not complaining if you got the issue price, 37, but certainly, you know, you couldn't hold on forever at the open. Because it was a great long off the open, just like CoreWeave, Figma, and Circle as well. But it was a short after that, and there's just no other way to put it. The running joke was that it was bearish, not bullish. Although I saw someone in chat make a good point, that symbol should have been used for a cosmetics company, because blush. I heard you even said blush when calling the stock. I'm surprised the cosmetics company did not steal that ticker. It was a big missed opportunity. That being said, I feel like it was a little bit of a topping moment. If we're just also looking at, look, I just get to bullish first. That prior low at 80, I still think it's going to be a rollover type of day, because continuation on day 2 worked for CoreWeave. It worked for Circle. Continuation on day 2 here is a short, not a long. So 86 and 80 are the two levels I got down to look for the short. But don't discount what happened in some adjacent names. Robinhood found its way to a top on this day, right? So on bullish day, Robinhood was just dump city. Coinbase as well, which is a more direct competitor. It tried to rally, and it found itself a top and continued its lower push since earnings. So, and Bitcoin also made a run at the high and a pullback and a fail of the all-time high. Effectively, ETH kind of really close to that all-time high. It just feels like we're in pullback mode in crypto land here. So bullish included in that. But you can look across the board in fintech to extend out, with the exception of maybe SoFi, I think actually held up pretty well. But almost everything else made a bit of a temporary top yesterday, as I think we signaled a temp high in the space.
All right, so yesterday, bullish, what a ride. One of the best days for me trading, but there's the IPO take long. we ran that all the way up to 115 was our best outs. I mean, obviously, I wish I would have held a hell of a lot more. I mean, way too many outs early, but you know, whatever. That's how the trade works. You have no idea this is going to happen, and it didn't happen for very long, man. We halted at 105, then we halted back on the way down at 95. This was all a matter of 10 minutes, and then once we broke down there, we tried it one more time at 92 or whatever. It breaks the IPO price, and we get out with about $1.50 or so of slippage. Then we let this thing happen, and then we go short on 80. All right, that was the huge trade there at the end of the day. It happened at about 3:30, and it was actually just as good, if not better than the first trade. I mean, the IPO trade is the IPO trade, but I was really proud of the second trade that we had made right there, because there's the break of 80 finally happening, and here's the move down. So we wrote it down all $10. You know, we got out for a $10 winner there right near the close, near the end of the day. So that turned out to be absolutely huge. But at the end of the day, there was still a bid somewhere around 70. We came in today around that 78.80 marker. So I do have it out right now. The sticky note's now out. You can go find it at Trader TV, Sean. It'll be on Instagram soon as well. But right there, I have Bullish short at 80 again. Was a great break near yesterday's close. Let's use it again as an anchor and play potential shorts there. And then we can get out if it breaks. So that's the whole thing. I love trades that are easy. You know, I'm an easy guy. If there's trades that break, that makes sense, we take them. If not, we don't. And right there, 80 was an awesome trade at the end of the day. I think we can do it again. So we'll wait to see if it comes up here. Let's be as patient as we can be with this name. Up another 9%. Kathy Wood bought 2.5 million shares yesterday, so puff, puff, pass on that. I don't know where she got in, maybe right off the open, which created this movement. Remember, these IPO trades, like, I know we've done well on them. I think you have to be so careful, because like I'm using more shares, we're all using more shares now, and this made me real nervous, like just how fast this thing came back in. So there was about 10 minutes or so of euphoria and then downside. So yeah, I like the stock. I don't love it. You know, Charles Schwab and all these other huge accounts that are out there, like Webull and this Bullish and, you know, SoFi and Robinhood to some extent. I mean, they're starting to get a little crowded, and it's SoFi's different because they have their banking license. We've mentioned that before. They acquired that, I think, in 2022 or 2021. So they're a little bit different. But, you know, there's SoFi down 3% today. Robinhood also taking a kick today as well, down 2%. So both Robinhood and SoFi each down 2% or so. I could see something similar happening again with Bullish today. You know, oopsies, that's the warrants. Here's Webull. Let's just have a quick look at Webull so we don't confuse these two. I thought yesterday this name could run on that IPO just to be a little silly, because I was like, oh, that's going to have a good opportunity to be misconstrued for Bullish, but that didn't really happen. It actually went to the downside with it as well. So yeah, all these names getting hit a little bit there today. So I would say downside for BLSH. It's the #1 trade idea for me, but I don't know if we get to those levels. So yeah, eToro as well. Yeah, it's another good name here, ETOR. So thank you. Again, see, this is why you guys got to get in the chat. Like, I just look up there for a second, and that's a name that we never talk about. So what's up, Mr. Henry right there? So shout out to Mr. Henry. This one's flat, but look at the move on eToro. So like I said, I think this space is way frothy. I've sold some SoFi. I'm not in Robinhood, and I'm not in Bullish. So I'm not that bullish, I guess, in this space. But oh, I'm in Webull. Yeah. Oh, darn it. Yeah, I'm in Webull. Okay. But we did sell some at 18, yeah, but we need to get back into that name. Because I do think, yeah, I think it's fine. We're long at 12 or 11, so fine on that one. But yeah, trying to raise some cash. So this is why you raise cash, right? I sold some SoFi. You know, we've been talking about buying some more crypto and things like that, but you got to sit in cash in case this market does go down 1 or 2 percentage points. We saw that last Thursday, Friday on the move down, and then it was bought right back up at the beginning of the week again. So I think that there's, Neil and I sat here and we said, you know, where is the bear case in this market? And maybe, you know, the weaker economic data
just happened.
Is what it is. But is that really bearish? No. I mean, it's bearish, but it's
short-term bearish. How about
like we said, we're back to Wednesday, back to Tuesday. What day is it? Yeah, it was Tuesdays. So back to Tuesday's levels right now on a Thursday. So
it's not so bad.
Not doing too bad. It's not like that MNDY stock though. Only
Monday got smoked.
Monday.com.
Yeah, it was bad.
All right, let's go back over to the desk and talk about the next name. I mean, a couple AI plays, it looks like, coming right up.
A couple of AI headlines, definitely. I'm not sure they're going to be positive at this point because of what happened at 8:30 there. That's the move Google had on that number at 8:30. We're back to 250. 201 trying to hold right now on the bid as well. But yeah, $9 billion in going into Oklahoma within the next couple of years in cloud and AI infrastructure. The latest investment here for Google.
Yeah, more money, more capex. I think they guided something like $85 billion for the full year. So there's $9 billion out of the 85, Brendo. So as you mentioned, they're going to invest $9 billion in Oklahoma to develop a new data center campus in Stillwater and expand the existing one at the prior facility over the next 2 years. The move is part of their aggressive push to scale up cloud computing and AI infrastructure. As I mentioned, they got $85 billion to spend. I believe they've spent 60 something since we got their latest earnings report last time. They will fund a fast-track tech development program in partnership with the University of Oklahoma as well as Oklahoma State. These will be part of their Google AI for Education Accelerator, offering career certificates and AI training courses for free for the first time, according to the report. They will also partner with the Electrical Training Alliance to more than double Oklahoma's electrical-focused workforce pipeline. The initiative supports a growing need for trained labor as tech and infrastructure scales nationwide. It makes sense. I mean, we see this with Meta all the time, looking to invest in energy, likewise with Amazon, Google as well. So you got to have the workforce to back that up, Brendo. Otherwise, it's just equipment.
Yeah, we were talking after the, I guess it was the Apple's earnings call, you were mentioning how many times the term AI was mentioned, like he went out of his way every other word to say AI. I mean, Google was right behind them. I was just checking the top AI mentions this earnings season, and it was essentially Apple and Google. So here comes another investment, guys, as we were saying, $9 billion for Google.
Yeah, they better spend that Oklahoma money sooner
Oh,
rather
the
than later.
Oklahoma Sooners.
There it is.
Roll Tide.
Go. You're not even a Bama fan.
Or Eddie Lacy.
Eddie Lacy, oh, come on.
Exactly. Green Bay Packers, baby.
That's Kyler. That's CD.
Oh, they have so many. I know.
Marquise.
There's a lot.
Hollywood Brown.
There's a lot of Bama alumni there.
Well, the student. But anyways.
Oh, OSU. Yeah.
Yeah, look, Google, that was a big rejection. That was a big rejection yesterday at 204.5. There's no, like, even without, like, there was, even without this dump that we're having, this pullback that we're having today, like, Google was setting up for a little bit of a dip and a jaunt. 202 stands out because 202 is where it settled after we got that spike down and ultimately ended up being a bit of a nothing burger, and now you've got resistance at the 02. Those are the two levels to look at, 02 and 04.5 on Alphabet. If it can break out over 02, I think you've got room at least until you get to that high. But after it failed that top, it's just maybe we've gone far enough for at least some kind of a pullback here on Alphabet. It feels like that could be the truth, but it has to get over 02 for me to be bullish. If I'm dip buying something today, I think I prefer Apple in the Mag 7, which apparently we're talking about next.
Yeah, so for me, for Google, it's, it wasn't like great yesterday. You know, the trend is definitely down. We make a high, we make a high, we make a high, we make a high. It's just like we keep on going to the downside. I don't think it's ready to go up yet, to be honest with you. I think we're looking for a couple more stories, you know, but just with today's news, like, I think Neil's right about that 202. I'd rather see it fade off of that level. So I think until we really break through the 200 period here, that's 203, I think we got to get above this area before we start to think about a long. So I still want to play, like, that's a big move there, you know, and then we'll wait to see what winds up happening. But I don't love this look for Google. So I'm short today. Like, my bias is short. You know, we got a good CPI number, and the market went back to zeros and then ripped the rest of the day. So what I'm thinking could happen here is something very similar, where the Nasdaq does try to make a move higher, and then, you know, gets faded because bears finally have a reason to sell something. So I don't really want to look at Google long, so I'm going to look at it short. And there are better names to short out there, but Google looks pretty good to me. So 202 to 203. In this area is a short. Like, I'd like to, if we can somehow get it. What was the story yesterday? And right there, I'm losing my mind here at 2 o'clock. That started all of this. Oh, remember it wicked down there? What was that Google story, everybody?
It was the crypto wallet thing. It was
right,
like
the crypto wallet thing.
They were going to ban all wallet apps that didn't have
jurisdictions that weren't
didn't have
right.
approvals. And
so that story is Yeah, I don't want to lay my short thesis on that. I'll just play it that, you know, we were having a problem here with the 203 or so area. If we can get back to there, then we'll look to short it. That story to me is not that big. I feel like the market agrees and it came back. So, yeah, I don't know. For now, I'm going to turn this guy around, even though yesterday we did have a bullish day. I'm feeling bearish, so I'm putting the brown bear back in. We'll have that. We'll keep that black bull going through there. We'll put a brown bear. Brown bears are brown bears nicer than black bears, or I'm not sure. People in the chat would know this.
Which one do you with any bear?
Which one do you not want to see? I think you don't want to see brown
either.
I think it's the brown. I think it's the brown grizzlies. The grizzlies, I think, are the problem. So, anyways, all right. Let's go back over the desk and we'll talk about another name that keeps the doctor away.
Maybe, I don't know. Apple a day, a couple of apples a day. Apple AI, meanwhile, the story of yesterday gets this thing all the way to 235 before a choppy end to the session. We tested that early on this morning. We touched on it first 30 minutes of the show if you were with us. Whole bunch of products potentially to come over 26 and then into 27. That looks like it's going to be anchored by this essentially an iPad with an arm, for lack of a better term, that's going to be mobile, apparently, be able to follow you around your house and help you out with tasks.
I can't wait to see this, Brendo. It's like the first step to, you know, the robotics that we've been talking about for a long time. Let's talk about it. There's a lot more details that I can't give. So again, join us on the midday. We'll go through it at around 1 o'clock. So the flagship 2027 product is going to be a tabletop robot acting, as a virtual AI companion, able to track users, engage in conversations, assist with tasks. It's going to have a lifelike Siri overhaul capable, listen to this, of joining group conversations, recalling information, and offering proactive suggestions. I don't want this thing remembering anything that I said. That's terrifying. So I don't know.
I got news for you. It already is.
So that's what it is. There's more information, guys. Check that out with us, though, at around 1 o'clock. We'll do the news and go through it line by line.
Yeah, a ton of details coming out in this report. So again, focus on 26, and then most of it's probably going to be 2027 before you see it. But finally, I guess, guys, they're in the game.
Yeah, and we have to wait for it, but they are in the game. And I don't think you have to worry. At the end of the day, if you want a fantastic experience that's tailored to your needs with all this technology, then, you know, it's going to remember your stuff and follow you around and know what you go do and know what you like and know what you don't like. And that's what you live with in the information age. So I don't think that's one of those, if you don't like it, well then, fair enough. But this is the way the world is headed. So it kind of behooves us to get a little more comfortable with it to a certain extent, as long as it's reasonable. Like Apple, if things had gone differently at 8:30 with that PPI print, yeah, I think this would have been a clean 235 breakout play today. You know, no questions asked. Like it was set up for that trade. It's given you like multiple maybe this wasn't this week because that's actually last week. In the last 6 or 7 days, it's given you multiple huge runs after breakouts at the open. And this one set up a pretty clean double top pre-marketing yesterday at that price. In lieu of that, it still has this channel to come back into 230 into the prior high that I like. It's the one playing catch up, as it was the disappointing Mag 7 name pretty much the entirety of the year if you throw out Tesla. And now it's just starting its breakout. Really, this week is the start of this secondary push to try to get to the all-time high. So out of all the names here, this is the one that I kind of like to really catch a bid on. Everything else is sort of setting up in the other direction for me.
All right, you guys caught me right here. I do have a long idea today. It's going to be both Amazon a little bit lower at 221. We'll get to that in a minute, and Apple. So we'll put this again. We'll put our sticky note into the chat, so make sure you do join us right here. I'll put it in. You can go find out the plays that I'm thinking about. You don't have to look at them or like them or do anything, but at least it's something to look at. There it is, Apple 230 long. Good news yesterday about a revamped Siri and more AI talk. I mean, it's just that simple. Making the move back in could be something there for Apple. I said a 230 level. that to me is just because it's such a key area. We kind of tested it right back in here, but there hasn't been a retest. This is sort of when it broke. So we came in, we held 230, then we ripped back up that day. Look, I recently bought Apple at 212. When I bought it at 212, it went down to 204. Now it's at 232. I said to you guys that I was buying this news, buying this play, because I thought we were a couple stories away from this breaking much higher into 250 back up to all-time highs, and those stories are AI. And then the minute that starts getting announced, people are going to say, well, Apple's finally in the game, just like what Brennan said. Are they, though? We'll have to wait to see what this product comes out with. At least they're now talking about it. This 230 is not huge as you look at this, but if we do fall back in, this is a level that I think we want to test. And if it breaks 230, it's an easy out. So the 200 period's at 231. Let's not catch this falling knife. Remember, I am biased to the short side today, and it's just this would not be the name for me to short because of this news. And this is a big retail play too. I mean, a lot of people love Apple, and I feel like this could be like a Reddit kind of play again. Once something finally gets going, there could be no stopping Apple, especially with 0-day options. The price of the stock doesn't really matter as much anymore, as traders will just hop in and play it. So yeah, it needs to get going. I just tried to look up pictures of this robot. There's nothing there. Like, it's just a talk right now, but it's the right positivity. So let's get Perplexity. Let's get this all figured out with Apple, and then we'll get this new product launch here. So yeah, I mean, again, I really like the story, and it all started just a couple days ago down at that 200 marker, and now you're up to 230. So we like it.
Go Apple.
Yeah, trade forever. Why don't you just go short SQQ? We always talk about this. Yeah, you can trade the SQQ or TQQs. So both of these are triple levered. If you are a little less on the capital side, or you want to, you prefer trading this one, this is only $17, and the TQ I think is 93. But for me, I have a lot of buying power, so that's not a problem. And to answer your question, we don't have to pay for shorts on either one of these tools. So I just choose to go long a stock. I just choose to trade a stock which natural direction plays. So if I think short, then I'll go short this. If I think long, I'll go long. Instead of just, training my brain the other way around. Like, I don't need to go long SQQ if I think the market's short. I'll just go short something, so I choose the TQQ. But I do understand that there's reasons why, you pay less fees. The lower the price of a stock, the less SEC fees and all that kind of stuff that you pay. Although I think SEC fees are either zero right now, or very small. So there goes that reasoning. But yeah, good question. I just prefer to look at my blotter in my account and see long.
Yeah, go green.
So yeah, if I think the market's long, I like to see long in there instead of the word short. So that's
logical to me.
Yeah, it seems logical to me too. But yeah, I would trade it. So if I go long TQQs, that would mean short SQQs. So thanks Trade Forever for doing that. But that's what I'm looking at, and I do have it on here as a number one. It actually is my number one trade idea, is the TQs. So we'll talk about that as the market opens up, and it's going to be a short. NVIDIA just broke 180, by the way, so I wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. Yesterday, we had some weakness in NVIDIA versus AMD. So today, NVIDIA down 1%. Let's just check out what AMD is down. Probably more. There it goes. So when times are good, AMD is booming. When the times are bad, AMD is booming to the downside. So that makes sense, right? A little more of aggressive stock with advanced micro devices than NVIDIA these days. So there goes AMD. If you're going to choose the short a name in the chip space, why not choose AMD? Why not choose Intel as well? But remember, the thing about Intel, someone tweeted it at me. They're like, why don't you have Intel? I don't think it was this aggressive, but why don't you have Intel written down there maybe as a short? I don't mind the news with Intel. We sort of made some of those bottoms there. CEO went and visited Trump, and all of a sudden Trump had nice things to say. So maybe there could be some kind of an announcement coming with Intel. I don't think so, but I don't want to stand in that way right now. Was it Trump-Adara meeting at a 1 or 11?
It's 1 o'clock.
1, okay. So we still have little ways to go before Trump has some sort of announcements to make today. What else is new? I hope it's Canada related, because I'm waiting to hear that settle down.
There is a meeting. There's a Russia meeting at the end of the day too. But
it could be something about Russia. That's a good point.
So it could be about that at 1 o'clock, but I suspect we're going to hear about inflation at 1 o'clock.
All right, from all this tech and AI talk, obviously John Deere also has some AI involvement here as well. But let's go switch gears a little bit and talk about Deere.
Yeah, Sharif and I were just discussing the simple fact that this is turning into almost a software play as much as a hardware play. for heavy equipment. Here's how the chart is looking so far this morning. 480, bit of a pivot here. If you zoom out to a weekly chart, you'll see why, or even a daily chart. 480 down to 470, a bit of a level for Deere, but not good here right across the entire report.
It wasn't a good report, Brendo, whether it was the actual quarter, the guide, or the macro situation in farming. Let's talk about it. EPS of 475 on sales of 10.4 billion. That topped Wall Street's estimates of 458 on 10.3, so a beat on the top and bottom line for the current quarter. Last year's Q3 saw higher results, though. They printed 629 EPS on $11.4 billion in sales. So even though they beat estimates quarter over quarter on the year, they're markedly down. Basically, the drop was partly due to weaker pricing in agriculture and construction equipment. This is Deere's third straight quarter of price pressure in construction, in the construction industry specifically. They also lowered their full-year net income guide to $5 billion, down from 5.15 in May, and well below the consensus estimate of 7.1. Q4 net income implied at $1 billion, slightly below the consensus estimate of 1.1. But there's a reason why all this is happening, right? So the USDA is saying they're projecting 2025 net farm income to be $180 billion. That's down from $182 billion last year. That's not typically where you see this kind of chart going. Crop prices also, Brendo, they're significantly lower. Reduced farmer income all contributes to the limit equipment purchases or limiting equipment purchases, which is obviously impacting Deere's outlook. Their May guidance had factored in Trump's global tariff plans as well, which could raise import costs. Deere confirmed tariff increased products costs in Q3, but did not specify the amount. So a couple of headwinds here, specifically agriculture, and then you also have tariffs.
Yeah, to the equipment point, it's becoming even to a point where there'll be one piece of a larger piece of equipment for a community.
That's good. Yeah.
That's being contracted out to all the individual farmers. Versus there was a time when every single one of those would have gone to a Deere to buy their
absolutely. And like you and I were talking about off camera, like there's going to be huge productivity increases with the implementation of AI. You were giving the example of detecting weeds, zapping them with lasers, as well as being able to detect when something is deficient in a crop and adding fertilizer, whatever needs to be done. That's huge productivity boost.
Which theoretically should produce more, you'd think, but those numbers not pointing to that, guys.
Yeah, long term probably fine, but you're right. It's sometimes you have to look past the top and the bottom lines, and the comparables, previous quarter, previous year, trash these guys, and it's a flat bottom break too. Like this is support at that 500 level that got lost. The good news is it bounced off the 200 period, so if you like it, at least that's held, and it's a level that's been respected by Deere pretty much, I don't want to say all year, but more or less. There was that April low was the only time you took out the 200 period on the daily, and it bounced clean off of it on this number. The only issue with that is on very light volume because it just doesn't trade that much. So this is probably not the type of symbol I'd be looking at, but you give it the old 3-day rule. I prefer, I'd probably buy the stock if I didn't want to buy more Caterpillar instead. But I think you give it the 3-day rule. The fact that it's holding the 200 period moving average is a good sign. You like to buy companies in the long term at that price level. But those comparables not very good year over year, showing some signs of slowing. That said, I don't think it holds forever. These guys aren't going anywhere, and they've done fabulously over the years. Not a day trading stock. The spread right now on Deere is $6. That's pretty not tradable, and that's for a whole round lot. Like sub 100, you can probably see a spread of like a couple bucks, but yeah, that's not a day trading stock.
Yeah, no, down 7%. I mean, you don't get too many opportunities to buy the stock down this much. So, yeah, I think it's something there. That 200 period's at 470, so you're going to see if that can hit it. I think if you did want to diversify, this is not a horrible spot to do that on this kind of a name. I'm not in this name. I'm not in Caterpillar. I've never been really in anything farming related or ag related. So I always look to think about like Home Depot and stocks like this. I know they're not the same, but there's a 200 period moving average. So it looks pretty good. I mean, back down into April, we bounced off of it. We bounced. So with only 2 minutes to go. Again, I like it. There's a dividend associated with John Deere. So what would the dividend be? It's only 1.5%. So it's not huge. So yeah, you're not in it for that, but you're in it just to diversify, I think. And down in there to 470 off the 200 period is where I'd look. A minute and a half left. Let's go see what Cisco's saying.
Well, Apple's pumping.
Cheer to the downside on Cisco, bounced off 67.50, but a few more analyst notes trickling in here. To the downside as well. A lot of these going to be on the negative side today.
Yeah, Brando, look, they beat on the top and bottom line. EPS came in higher than expectations by a penny. Revenue came in at $14.2 billion ahead of the 14.62. Net income did rise nicely, $2.82 billion in take-home money versus 2.16. And their networking revenue rose as well, 12%, beating estimates. Security revenue rose 9%, but that missed estimates. So it's a kind of a mixed report here. The market's selling off a little bit, breaking through some that $69 level where we've been defending for a while.
Yeah, it still looks good on a higher time frame though, guys, for Cisco.
Last night, it's sort of, when you're at those highs, you can get punished, and it's not even that bad. 69 is the level that you want to watch off the open. It's faded twice, aftermarket, and then current market right now in the pre-market. CoreWeave is one name we didn't talk about. Their lockup expires midnight tonight on CoreWeave. So the 120 level and the pre-market high is going to be looking to fade this one as a general preference. We probably was going to be doing this regardless of what the market did today, but it is catching a bid. Apple catching a bid going into the open. But this opening bell brought to you by Beta Pro by GlobeX. And in 3 seconds, we're going to ring it Adara 2 and 1. Let's go.
All right, so, you know, I was looking, I was like, let me go see what Amazon's doing. You know, I thought maybe Amazon, that was one, the only two longs that we have written down today are Amazon and Apple. Amazon is absolutely ripping right now to the high side. Amazon is gone, up through 228. There goes AMZN, a name that we didn't look at. And we should have. And there goes Apple as well. We talked about some levels there for Apple. It just breaks through that 232 to 233. It's all the way back up. I mean, what PPI number, right? I mean, there it is, Apple, all the way back up, right back up to the tops again. So we did nail some of these talks today about what stocks we wanted long.
235.
But we're going. Now, there goes Apple 235 now and going higher and higher and higher. So bye-bye Apple upside now. It looks like the S&P 500 is making those moves higher right now, right in front of our face. So as we said, that was the play today. It was try to see what happens here against that CPI number or PPI number, and it looks like we're trying to battle back just a little bit. The futures just went up to VWAP. Potential start of a short coming here for me on the futures.
Yeah, and coming to the upside is bullish to the volume weighted average price is going to be BLSH. Apple's going to break 235. Boom. I feel like it's a trade that I want to take, but I'm going to give it a very tight stop. Sorry, guys, I have to go over to Apple. Whoa, that did not break. It didn't.
It did.
Oh, it did break.
Break to 60,
sorry, guys, I couldn't change before. You got to address the trade first. So I said a very tight stop on Apple. It's not the same thing getting in
and out.
When it's, oh goodness, when it runs $3 to the upside going into the open like that and you're punching the top, I'd much rather let it settle down, but I had the order in, so I had to jump right over and make sure we could cover out of it because I don't want to get trapped in any kind of a top. What I was trying to say there was I want to short bullish at the pre-market highs. That got very close. Here is bullish, which I accidentally put on the Nasdaq.
Holy shit, Amazon.
78 to about 79 is the area first underneath 80 that we'll look to engage the first time through. But yeah, that's why you get out right away. Apple's already starting to come back in. So market is bouncing. Apple lost the top. Nvidia is trying to go, but I want to see if we can't get that short in the IPO du jour yesterday. There is one today, but it's small. We were just talking about it. It's the Miami Exchange.
Yeah,
it probably will be till later, but it's a smaller IPO. It's not something we take the print on. You'll actually hear us talk about it.
Well, we'll wait. I want to wait to see what it does.
Yeah, we'll see. It's a small buy and balance already, 300,000 shares. Yesterday at this time, Bullish was an imbalance of like 2 million.
What is the symbol?
MIAX. I think it's the same as the gateway.
Yeah, I think it is as well. So, all right, I just want to look at this because right now the tap is 20. Okay, by the way, new positions. We're short the futures with TQQ. Yeah, so $23. So we'll check that back in a minute and then see as that updates. That will not take until noon or 1, I don't think, there. But, okay, so Yeah, I'm like very, very impressed here with Amazon. You know, up to 230 right there. Just went to 229, and now it's starting to fade out a little bit. But here's the trade for me: the futures. You know, we talked about it. I wrote down 95 there because that was the top before the CPI number, and that's actually, or sorry, PPI. I was looking at this anyways. It was actually written down. We had bullish and the TQs, and then the PPI number hit. So there's 95 right here. I want to go short into 95. Hopefully, not hopefully, we don't have a very big position right now. We have about 1 unit. You know, as we climb higher, I want to start to average into this position for sure. So let's be wrong higher than this. I don't want to be wrong right now. The market just opened up. We did take it at VWAP. We did take it again here. We're trying to figure out if we are going to take something at 94.25. We'll add it. We'll have about 1.5 units, and then hopefully by the time we get up here, we have about 4 units or so. So that's kind of the play that I want to look for here with the futures. We're in it right now. Enough to win, but not a full position. AMD, huge move to the upside now as well. There's $3 right into, again.
Bullish is going to break 70.
The bullish is going to break 70. Okay, so I'm paid for shorts on that name, but we don't have, did you wind up paying eventually? I don't know.
I just paid the.
Was it 8?
The 8 sale. It was the same
Yeah,
price.
okay. So, all right, so Neil's in CoreWeave right now. I'm only in the futures with the TQs. And yeah, bullish there. Good call by Neil. It does bounce off 70. So now up $3 from that bouncing spot. I'm waiting at 79.50 or so to see if we get a move up into 80 for BLSH. But right now the future is just kind of doing its own thing, trying to go a little bit higher, and in fact is starting to go higher. So we will get another piece right here. And yeah, there it is. We'll put on another piece right into yesterday's sort of levels. And if this market comes all the way back up, honestly, on that kind of a PPI, the worst since what, 2021 or something, I'll put my hands up like I'm doing right now. And we'll add to this, add to this, add to this. And if it breaks through that 95, then yeah, we'll put an L on the board early in this name, but it's okay. I'm fine with it now. Amazon blasting,
Amazon
Apple
is going
blasting.
absolutely ham right now. Apple's not blasting.
Oh, it's not? It came back?
No, that was, thank goodness we got out of that one. Like, I didn't have my stop.
Oh, nice. Okay.
The reason why I couldn't pull level 2 up for you is I didn't have my stop to cover out live on the break, but I'm like, I'm going to give it a tight stop. I didn't have it out. I had to just go to level 2 and punch out manually. That went all the way down to 233, so that was right quick back in. Maybe we get a higher low and we can settle down. I still want, like, this is the name that I wanted to be in the long on in general sense, but I'm not going to get trapped at that high. CoreWeave, which we just got. Let me double check on Bullish. No, Bullish is absolutely nowhere near. Wow, it really bounced off 70. I just put a stop order to break short if it went through 70, and it bounced $5 or $4 to the upside. CoreWeave is working underneath the 116 level, but the other name, and apologies for not getting to this. I know a lot of people have been looking at Newegg. This was up 20-something% right before the open. It's pulling back a bit. I'm a little surprised. 12% short float. The way this is going on the daily, you'd think that it was a bit of a bigger short float than that. I'm going to guess that it's much larger than what is reported, but Newegg trying to resume after dropping $10 at the open here. It was up, actually one of the bigger runners this morning, but giving back a little bit. As the market pulls back, go figure. I see the chips not doing much. NVIDIA is not really, like, it's bounced to VWAP. That's about it. I like the 182 level in the note. I don't know if we can get there unless we get a really, really big pushback. Because that's right where we were. 182 is where we were when the number hit. I'd be surprised if we're able to get back there.
This, what's up, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying the show. You know, hit the like, hit the subscribe. And thank you for joining us. Bless you one more time. There goes, I mean, Amazon. Like we had written down here on the note, and again, it's just a note that we're looking for there. I had said that Amazon 221 long if we continue to dip, but 224 is a great spot if it stays up here. And we had wrote that down, and that's exactly where we bounced, 224, and there's 224 all yesterday afternoon. We held it until we popped it, and there it goes right now, like. Boom, Amazon, huge move to the upside right now. Looking to take out 235, but I mean, that's a much bigger move. The futures are really gonna have to get going up into there. And if we do, this is the only spot that I think I would short it, 235. We've only spent a couple days above it, so I would like that area if we're going to go short on Amazon, but it is trying to break a little bit lower right now off of that 230 mark, so that would be something to look at. Let's go back over to the biggest and the baddest of them all. It's Palantir. Yeah, you want to talk about a stock that's recovered nicely here today. 180 182 up to 184, so a nice $2 bounce on Palantir as well. We know this game could get going. We had that report yesterday from Citron calling it overvalued about 10 minutes after we talked about it, and that was just pure coincidence. I think that there's a lot of stocks that do have a lot of PE issues right now, and Palantir's grown into it. It's just we're used to that story, and I don't buy it. I want to hear something else about Palantir, slowing revenues, losing contracts, something like that. Because if you're
go ahead,
yeah, I was just gonna say, if we're just gonna keep talking about stocks not having proper PEs, then I mean, we can start listing a whole bunch of stocks here, Coinbase or any of these fintech names. Or
I
anything.
expect there to be a thesis because, like, if you're the way I see it, if you have a short thesis based on something, it should be unique to that company. Because if your only thesis is it's valuation, I could point you to 10 other things. You just go short all of them. It's not to say that there might not be an opportunity. Look, maybe there is. I mean, when the market turns around, the market just doesn't always go up. It'll beat the value. It'll beat those types of names the most.
Yeah, Palantir will get hit. I mean, just like if there's a negative story on SoFi, the thing could drop like 20% just because. No. These are the things. Any of these names. 20 is too much, but could drop 10%. Robinhood did drop. Robinhood's high.
SoFi was so good yesterday relative to the space.
And SoFi might be great today, by the way. But look at that. Even right here, we went from 24 down to 23 there pretty easily. And then just to go on this, and again, stocks that we like, Robinhood still made a high of 117 and is now down to 108. That's 10% right there on the flush for Robinhood, and we didn't even get going yet, right? So some of these names are suspect to those plays, but we do have to go over to Adara. I'm still sitting in this TQQ short. The longer I sit in this futures trade, the worse I think it's getting, because if the market's not going to go down, then it's going to go up. And
it goes sideways.
Or it goes sideways, which is in danger right now, I think.
Wouldn't be surprised. Let's go to Adara.
Yeah, let's go see what she thinks.
Right now, I don't actually have anything about the market specifically. I just want to let you guys know here about another name that's running. This is a day one earnings play. AG is the ticker. The company is called First Majestic Silver. It is worth noting this is not even a particularly small cap name. It's got a market cap of about $4.3 billion. They did actually beat on EPS, but they missed on sales. Either way, pushing higher here for AG. It is worth noting we don't have any economic data at 10 a.m., but Fed's Muslim will start speaking at 10, guys. Back to you.
Oh, that's right. We get a little bit of Fed speak in addition to the president. So just very quickly, I mentioned in the chat as Sean was talking, I took out on CoreWeave. The market entirely stronger than expected. And then this bounced at 114, which you can see was a prior pre-market low, was a pretty key level. Once buyers started to emerge at that price, it's like, okay, quickly get out, because I don't want this to run to the high. We got the move off the pre-market low, and we took our first shot at it, was able to get about $1.25 on it, but lose on Apple, win on this one. Still nothing for me in Bullish, though. Thought we might have traded this one at the open. No breakdown through $70. No push into 80. Bullish is actually not even moving that much today. So
not that bullish for you?
No, it's not doing much of anything. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. Crack back over to NVIDIA. This is starting to get a little bit more momentum into that 182 level. 184 has been a brick wall. Every single day this week, NVIDIA has run into 184 and failed. I don't see any way that I don't look for a short at 184. If it breaks out, it breaks out. I don't mind reversing on this thing, but here, let's look at the 15-minute chart. Somebody's selling it at $184. So if we get up there, how do you not? Anyways, I'm going to be shorting that thing at $184. Still nothing on Bullish. I just heard Rocket Lab in my ear, but before I get to that, AMD with a bigger move to the upside than NVIDIA, which I guess shouldn't surprise anybody. AMD has just gone meme crazy again.
Yeah.
I'm not breaking this. I don't know if I want to break this one long, but if there's any kind of a dip, I might pull up the 5-second chart to find an entry on AMD. That's one of those things that I was incorporating yesterday.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to start doing that more.
This was down 3%. So I mean, we talked about AMD being down that 3%. Remember, we looked at it was down 2.79%. And then now you just went green right there on advanced micro devices. Definitely lifting this market higher here as, the Nasdaq's trying to go. And we're right back to the levels that I'm pretty short, pretty confident not confident, but I'm happy going short in this area. Nvidia also just got a pop right now as well. So you can't keep the best stocks down, it seems like. I mean, it's quite obvious where we need to be investing right now in this market, and the chip space seems to be the winning space right now. Nvidia, nice high there. Bitcoin tank right now, down to 118 again right there. I mean, we throw around the words tanking and ripping a little bit too much, but for sure here in our business, IBIT down 4%. There's not too many times where we've seen that happen. So there's IBIT down 4% recently. Don't send me a whole bunch of stuff. IBIT down 10% and all this. But Ethereum also down 4% today. Remember, I think the more people fly into these trades, they do get crowded. So I think if you're in it now, potentially a little bit late, but we'll wait to see what happens there with Ethereum. And the names that you guys want us to talk about right here. Amazon. Yeah, we're talking about it, man. AMD. Amazon's... Again, we had Amazon and Apple written on there. I didn't have AMD for sure. Robinhood, you just mentioned Newegg going Carvana style right there today. Palantir as well. Nice upside play as we continue to go. And here come the names to add into this as well. So, yeah, we're going up here at Tesla down now 1%. SoFi down 1.6%. CoreWeave down 4% again today. After CoreWeave yesterday, man, nasty day. We do have the lockup happening for CoreWeave as well. So CRWV, that's tonight or tomorrow?
It's midnight tonight, so effectively it's tomorrow.
So you're going to get the market flushed with more CoreWeave shares as maybe not, but now you have the insiders that have bought on the IPO that got that first price.
Position board.
The lockup is now expired for CoreWeave tonight. So this is part of this move, upside down right there. Obviously, we had earnings too a couple days ago, so we have to look at that. Yesterday's big mover, Neil, was Rigetti. The position board, I just heard Neil say that, so thanks for saying that. The position board is down right now. The only thing I have is the Nasdaq short, and we're waiting for that. Rigetti with the move down now, down 5%. I feel like this market wants to give it up a little bit, but we've been wrong before, many times before. Yeah, for right now, yeah, there it is right now. Intel, now the position board's up. So Intel right now, oh, you finally got a bullish short. Good, because I was waiting for a price there. So you took 76.
Well, essentially, if it's not going to get to 80, it's similar to CoreWeave. Like it made a topping tail candle here under 77, and then I sort of saw the same thing, lower high coming at 76 level. So play off the open high at 76, but maybe play inside of this range to 74, see what we can get here on Bullish, which was bearish yesterday. Oh, the other thing, and let me just quickly jump. I'm going to get some VWAP here, 75, and then we'll see if it can push through that 74 level as well. If we break out that prior candle wick, then I'm just jumping out of it. We're playing inside the range when I'm expecting that it would have been 80, so it's a very, very tight stop here. Apple, wow. I mean, Amazon's the one that's going. Apple, it was right to get out of the breakout. I'll stand by that every single time, but it's still looking relatively strong. Just because it didn't break out the top, held the low, higher lows. If it can close over VWAP, that looks a little bit better. But I want to be back into CoreWeave short. That's the bigger concern. Like right when I thought it was catching a bid, it goes right into 115.6 and dumps. This should be, I think this could be an all-day short. First available green candle is going to be the way I want to get back into that bad boy, as once again, it looks pretty nasty. Willis Addison, we get the super chat here? Sure. Goodbye, Rigetti Spaghetti, CoreWeave, Tesla, and Robinhood. Yeah, Rigetti had a buy program yesterday. I guess sometimes the algos get it a little bit wrong because, somebody could not stop buying Rigetti in yesterday's trade, and it got pretty nasty. And all of those prices look really, really bad for Rigetti. Day after earnings, though, so you have to let this one calm down. It's still very much finding itself inside of the earnings range, really.
We, we got that bad, hotter than expected PPI number at,
I'd say bad.
I'd say bad too there at 3.7, coming through versus 2.9. So that was not great, but look what just happened. We actually had a flip right there. So 94.6%. It was up to 99.8%. So you do get a little bit of a pushback here, but it still is looking more and more like, wasn't it 5% the other, or wasn't this way 50% basis point?
There was chance that was 50.
So that has got
today.
squashed now. And now we're looking at 5.4% of a chance for no rate cut and 94% chance of a rate cut. So, although that number comes super, super hot there today, highest since 2021, the market is sort of shrugging that off. And you could see that right now with the futures. And I should have maybe used that as an indicator. Like if that number was down to 80s or something like that, then maybe we could be like, okay, that's much more likely now that this market does think that this is a rate cut environment, but rate pause or hike with that kind of inflation. I don't think we're getting a hike, but the market here is making moves higher, and we're almost right back as if it didn't even matter.
It's like nothing.
So the market went down 0.5% there. We had AMD. I mean, you want to talk about buying dips and whatever. You had an opportunity to buy AMD down 3% today. You had an opportunity to buy Apple and Amazon. Amazon was down to 224. It's now 230, of course, on that play as well. So yeah, we'll just sit here. We're into the future short right now, and this is the level that we kind of liked to begin with. So I'm not the greatest price here, starting at 94.30s when it's at 94.70s right now, but we're going to add to it. And then if we break that top, then we got to get out, man. 95.20 or so, good little level there to raise the white flag, so to speak. But we're here for the longer run here right now. It's only 9:48. We're trying to be as patient as possible. And again, the Fed, the PPI, it's all baked in right now. So I guess we just wait for more Fed speak. We've got President Trump coming at 1 p.m. We'll hear what he has to say. But I think Trump might move the markets even more than the Fed if there's anything significant to say. So we could wait for that. People still want Wolf and all that, but we got to go over to Neil.
Well, Wolf has been a big runner.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. But the futures move a lot, and if you want to find a way to expose yourself to bigger moves, well, sophisticated Canadian traders, there's exciting news for you. Beta Pros by Globex Canada has just launched 6 triple leverage ETFs, including 3x bull and 3-time bear exposure to the S&P TSX 60, the semiconductors, and U.S. Treasuries. And even better, they're offering a special fee rebate. They're dropping the management fees to just 65 basis points. And that is going on until December 31st of this year. So you got to the end of the year, everybody. The ETFs also employ currency hedging to seek to neutralize USD exposure, providing performance that may more accurately reflect the underlying US equity indices. If you're a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca/3x daily to learn more. Scan the QR code. But let's go up to Adara.
Here's American Battery Technologies. This is ABAT. Nice push to the upside for this one if you're looking for a bit of a runner here. I don't have any news on this. It's a small cap, $229 million market cap. We've got a short float here, about 8.6%. And it's at day's highs, though it's not yet at pre-market highs here for ABAT. Back to you.
All right, so the bullish.
Yeah, we promised we would look at Wolf.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
And, it's kind of doing some stuff. It's holding the volume-weighted average price. It's a great indicator, especially for some of these small cappers, to indicate momentum is still your friend. Holds it at the open on a fail breakdown, but it's not really doing much. Seller control in control at $7.40, which should be obvious to everybody. What you want to see happen, Palantir did this the other day. If it just holds long enough at the same level, you want the breakout over, but not necessarily, you don't want to get wicked out. So if you put it at 40, you might get wicked out. I think if it can take out 50 and then get going, and maybe you throw a tight stop under 30 would make some sense. Just for myself, I'm going to check to see if we have free locates on this. We do. Sometimes when it's free for day traders to short a stock, it's even more explosive to the upside if it breaks. You get a lot of day traders that are like, oh, it's free for me to short. This thing is too high, let me jump into it. But it's not doing a heck of a lot here. Let it battle through that 740, and then we'll see if it can go. Bullish, recent IPO. Yesterday's IPO is still not doing much. It just wicked the 77 again. So it keeps on trying to break the high. I was in the short at the 76 change, got it to VWAP, and then it took out the local high. It then did another fail the high. So if I want to be short and it's not getting to 80, every time it fails the high and reverses, I'm just taking that wick entry in. Still want to see it push through 74 to the low. The breakdown through the low is another trade on its own for Bullish. And what else we got going on here? People saying Reddit, let's go. That stock is absurd, man.
Reddit is amazing. I cannot believe I did not buy that name.
It's another 3% to the upside 11. It's $11 is what I meant to say. from the open, 3% on the day, but $11 is like a 5% move or 4.5% move on Reddit. And that would be another all-time high for Reddit. That's 2 days in a row, making all-time highs as the market continues to rally here. Wow, Reddit is just an unbelievable stock, realistically. This is one where, like, if you're Discord, how are you not coming to market while Reddit is so bullish? Don't waste the opportunity.
Bullish did, you know.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, you want to do it when the space is hot, when the comparables are the best. You don't want to wait until the market starts turning.
No, they'll yeah, I mean, it's an IPO bonanza right now.
Exactly.
I think everybody should try to come through with all of that. Okay, so I don't know. You know, I've only been in one trade here, and we finally get up to 95, and our position right here is 94.50. So I'm fine with that. That's where the 200 period moving average is. We should have a 95 short. This is what we waited for. We weren't patient enough, but we're here now. If it breaks 95.20, then we'll have to put the L on the board for that very first trade and, you know, sort of bang our head against the table, because I did not think that this was about to happen today. I did not think the market was going to rip like this. So we had written down here on our sticky note, there it goes. Fuck, man, why can't I just be more patient? There it is right here, 90. I mean, here now the market's really coming back, and I should take advantage of this a little bit. But yeah, we wrote down, and it's just, I need to do better. It's my bad. There's TQQ 95 short. We just have to wait for that. It comes to 95 and stops there. Now, I don't know what that little flush was about there. I'm not hearing anything in my ear, of course, but you know, it's just like if you're actually patient enough and wait for things to happen, then good things can happen. And we weren't very patient there, and nor did we just take advantage of that move down for no reason. That was like the first move that this market actually ever had today. So we're still fine. We're in. We've got our 3.5 or so units on this play. We thought that we would maybe get 4. So I don't know if this is a bull trap or not. I was not thinking that we would get all the way back up to where we were before this PPI number came through, where the market just said, what? And then it was just like, that was probably dramatic, but all the way back down now. So I don't know. No, sorry, all the way back up, was not expecting that at all. My guy over here, Palantir, okay, yes, futures. All right, now we're starting to get to the low side. Okay, now can we start to print, I ask. Now, okay, we can now finally get going. This should be a 40-cent winner. Did not trade it properly. I hope that you guys all, you know, have your trades in and not mine. But there it goes right now. Let's go. We just got another fill on it. Okay, we're starting to turn now on the futures. Let's get back down to the downside. Your boy's getting excited right now. Why? Because we called the 95 top. I know where my mistake was. Do you know where yours was? That's all that matters, man. I mean, trade your book, trade what you're doing. We're giving trades as much as we possibly can here. I think I like that trade up there to 95. Had to be more patient. We're scalping out of this. It's not a winner yet, but we're waiting for this to happen. It looks like there's a nice fall down. Bitcoin tried to just hold 118. It looks like it just did. Let's go downside right now, futures, and make something happen right now. All right, what's up, Adara?
Yeah, I mean, I guess with regards to the market, the only news I'm kind of seeing that could be of watch is more on the geopolitical side of things. I'm seeing reports that Russia is planning on extending the ban on gasoline exports until the end of September. That's all I'm seeing here. Back to you.
Well, there's talk that by the end of the week, if the war doesn't end, they don't make a deal, that repercussions are going to happen. Serious ones. And then when asked to expand on it, the president said, I don't have to. Of course you don't have to. Why would you? Just 2 things. One, there was finally a move to the upside. No, Blush did go up. It's not,
did it?
Oh my goodness, Blush.
I want to try to
I just pull up level 2. Look, Blush, it's not Blush.
I know.
It's Bullish.
Yeah.
This is exactly why I think it should be a cosmetics company that gets that. No, Bullish broke out the high. I'm only really looking short under 80 on this stock. So every single time it does a wick high, I'm jumping out of this thing. And then trying to get back into another entry. The thing that's trending down, which I didn't really get filled. Okay, so CoreWeave, I forgot to mention that CoreWeave is it's SSR today. It's short sell restricted. So what that means is if there's no uptick, you can't hit the bid to go short. You can only sell into the bid if you're long, which makes it tricky to get into the short, which I just missed when it finally popped up. I tried to get it back through 113 and then remembered I couldn't hit the bid, left orders to try to get filled. I didn't get anything until the $0.50 and I actually still have some orders above the 112 half that are just unfilled. But that's the thing that it's SSR. It's trickier to be able to get the short into CoreWeave. And if it breaks the low of the day, you might not be able to get fills. So I want to hold through the low, but I was looking for a place to add to this on that topping tail wick here in CoreWeave. The expiration, lockup, that could be a factor. They also reported yesterday as well. The numbers weren't exactly bad necessarily, but the valuation is a bit insane. They traded like 14 times sales, not PE, like that's sales, which is it's a pretty hefty number.
All right. Palantir right back to day's high again. We took advantage of that move down. Yeah, day's high for Palantir. Despite the market pulling back just a little bit, there's Palantir right at the open price right now, back up to 185 and change. I'm choosing my weapon of choice today are the futures, and we're trading the TQs, and I'm shorted, so I don't want to go long Palantir here, nor do I really want to short this name. It's up actually on the day, up 0.25 right now, so that could be a play that continues to blast through, especially if this market gets going. We see the positive relationship here between Palantir and the market. And again, you guys can ask us at any point if we're green or red. I mean, I see people in the chats like, you know, don't follow, don't do this, don't do that. I mean, it's up to you guys. I know that for myself, since we've been trading this, obviously we had a bad day a couple days ago, made some money on Bullish again yesterday, which was okay. Yeah, I don't know why. And it's because you said that I said it yesterday. Now I can't get it out of my mind. But we're going to still continue to do what we're doing, looking for some opportunities to trade. John Deere, we had that number come yesterday or last night on an earnings play, and it was not great, but you know, we thought that there would be some opportunities to get back into this name, especially to diversify. It bounced off 470, which is its 200-period moving average. So, you know, I think we like that long if it ever comes back into that area, but it needs to do that first. So that's Deere. 470 would be a good dip buy opportunity. Neil's in CoreWeave.
CSCO, by the way.
Review that. Yeah, Cisco was that yesterday.
Cisco is
Yo, what's up, Ozan?
about to go green on the session.
I saw Ozan finally in the chat.
Oh, Ozan's
there.
back?
Yeah, so he said he's back. And I said, yesterday, I said, oh man, Ozan must not be here because maybe he got a job somewhere. And then now all of a sudden he's flying through there. So what's up, Ozan? Hope you're doing well. You know, one of the old sort of, not old, I don't know how long he's been here. I should check, but yeah.
One of our long-time viewers.
Long-time viewer there.
That's the best way to say it.
AMD bounces off that 185 pretty nicely, right? It goes all the way up into that area, now back into 183 and change. This could be another one here, back into VWAP, right? When there's a gap, fade to VWAP. And there it is right there, nice little fade. So this is not a gap, but you can act like it was from 179 up to 186 right there, almost in a straight line. So there's the pullback into VWAP. If there's going to be supported, it would be around now. You could see that it was supported pretty good. There was a nice topping tail candle there, bottoming tail candle, giving you that low. But here about to break it again through 183. Did I reload up there on the futures? Yes, I did. So we reloaded there at 94.80s. So I think we got 83s or 84s. So now let's give it a go. Right there. You're in bullish. I'm in bullish right now.
No, I'm not in. I'm not in it. I just got out of.
Right.
Oh wow, what a fake out! That was insane.
CoreWeave screwed you up.
CoreWeave. Sorry, somebody. Is this a 5-second chart? Somebody bought like heavy just now. And that got me out of the trade. It was failing the low of the day, right? So as it bounced off the low of the day, someone bought a ton of volume, just came in. I was like, what the heck? Okay, I guess we're going out again. So I jumped out of it for about like 50 to 60 cents. And then right after, someone smashed that short. So it was one of those, I don't know, it was one of those fake outs.
Here we go.
It happens. The market going a little bit lower here. And obviously this one going to the downside.
All right, there it is, man. There's $1 right here. We put this down on bullish, so your boys got this one right now. Yes, sir. Make the money yesterday, make the money today. There it is right here, bullish. We said we're waiting at 79.50. There it is right there, man. The $80 short. We just got it. We got some out. Hey, look, if it breaks, it breaks, but it worked out so far there. My best out, 78.50s right there on the downside. Let me put another bid here at 79. There it is, another fill there for us. So another 50 cents there on BLSH. So far so good, man. We write down the TQ short at 95. That printed. Now we have bullish short at 79.50, which is about to go out. Hopefully you were able to take a little bit of profit there as the spreads are definitely starting to move this stock around. And here it goes. We are out of this immediately when it breaks 80s, and there it goes. You want to know the slippage there? Probably huge, 50 cents. So we got 50s there on the slippage.
It's not
so
that bad.
We'll fail it. No, it's not that bad. We'll fail that one there to the downside on bullish as it just continues to rip higher right now. But no bullish, no cry. We reloaded the TQQs on the upside. We're short right now at 65. Let's put some more bids in here right now. This is a much bigger position. I have about 40 times the shares right now in the futures that we did on that BLSH. So let's just figure this out. Hopefully we can get back up to the upside. BMNR, I don't know. People asking about that. We'll talk about that in a minute. Do we have to go to Adara? Yes, then let's go to for happening now.
It was quite the morning today, that's for sure. Big move down here in the market around 8:30 with these harder than expected PPI prints across the board. We had core PPI year over year and core PPI year over year, both 3 prints. We were expecting those 2% prints here, so definitely stronger than expected for every single PPI print that we got. Initial jobless claims a little bit lower than expected, so bit of a mixed, I guess, print there. 10 a.m., we don't have any numbers, but we are expecting Fed's Muslim to be making some comments here in CNBC. So if I see anything of note come through that, I will let you know. It's worth noting that the Fed lately has been increasingly divided. We're seeing a lot of Feds come out as very hawkish, a lot as very dovish. So we'll have to wait and see what happens at that September meeting. Tons of earnings to go over, surprisingly, here. Let's talk about Coherent, COHR. This one, numbers themselves were not bad. Guidance was more or less in line, but the company did announce right before its earnings report that it's going to be selling its aerospace and defense business for $400 million to Advent. Then we had JD.com. They reported earnings this morning. They actually gapped up decently. Right now they're at days lows, though. They double beat here for JD.com. Cisco, CSCO, this was a double beat here for EPS and sales. Again, guidance for the quarter, a little bit more in line. Guidance for the year, pretty solid. So lots of earnings plays on watch tonight. After the bell, we'll get a whole bunch as well, including Nano Nuclear, QUBT, and AMAT. Back to you. Make sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah, AMAT after the bell. It's a good bellwether for the chip space. What was that halt? That stock doesn't make any sense at all. I just saw this on a halt page for multiple halts, MB. That is literally zero liquidity. Stay away. Look, I want to be back into CoreWeave. I think this could be an all-day short type of situation. And if the market is going to try to make a bounce at all, I want to short, again, the next available pop on a 3. Overall, the market is still holding out those lows. Sorry, the lower high, I should say, on the Nasdaq. That's a good sign for the short. I just looked over and NVIDIA can't shake 182. I like 184 for the short because it's held every single day this week, but it doesn't seem like it can get there as long as the selling continues to, I guess, win out at the 82 level. So if that's the way it's going to be, then I'll take my first shot. If we can break down, let me draw this a little bit better. If we can break the trend since it was at VWAP, I might jump into this one or wait for it to show failure above 182, like break 182 again, fail underneath, and get that back through the 182 level. But you can see the war being handled here on NVIDIA. I haven't checked AMD, but I feel like most days AMD, when it's really, really bullish, then NVIDIA is the one you would rather take a shot at. So I want to stick with CoreWeave. Bullish is at 84, so if it was under 80, I was going to be looking short, but at 84, the next level is not till like $86 on bullish. So NVIDIA, CoreWeave, I want to get back into. Apple's still doing absolutely nothing, which is a little bit strange to me. It's not really flushing, not really breaking back to that 235. I guess in Mag 7 land, it's really Amazon that's the more interesting of those names. And it didn't really have a catalyst, Amazon, today. It just kind of went.
Yeah, Amazon, I was just looking at the charts earlier. I don't know why. We wrote down 4 trades on here: BLSH, TQs, Apple, and Amazon. And Apple and Amazon were both longs, and they're actually turning out. The futures are not, though. I'm a little nervous about this because we didn't quite get back to VWAP, and we tested some of those low wicks again and did not break lower. So for me, we could be, I'm not going to average into this anymore until we get back up to the highs. And then we'll see if we can get a better fill. Other than that, we'll get another piece out if it gets back into this area, low 50s, and then we'll wait to see if we're lucky enough. My next fill is at 27, down here. So 94.27 at the 50 period and at VWAP. So hopefully we get a move to the downside. Okay, so today's big stories, again, let's just go over some of them. We have Deere coming through today down more than 6.5%, now down 6% after reporting lower quarterly profits and trimming its annual forecast. So tariff and margin pressures an issue there. Come on, Qs, get down. A name that we didn't talk about, Tapestry, TPR, right here in the apparel business. It's not been a great one. They're down 16% today. They're not good. Off of that report, nice move to the downside there. Missing profit targets and again, cutting outlook, cost driven by inflation, and we don't get a good PPI number today. If inflation's been a problem for them, inflation's actually low right now, so that's not great. So Tapestry, nice downside. Slower consumer demand. I think they're Coach and all that. So some of those bags and whatnot not flying off the shelves, I guess. And then we had CSCO as well, just another earnings play. CSCO at $70.25 right now, starting to battle back a little bit. This name underperforming what its move was supposed to be. I think it was about 4%. So you're pretty flat on that. Better than expected guidance. But I don't know, I guess investors maybe wanted more than what they got from CSCO because it's kind of just doing nothing. Energy today, oil prices up 1%. So, you know, maybe names like XOM might finally find that bid in and around 106. Wow, the futures just bounced off 53 literally. So hopefully it can come in and get us that price at some point. But XOM actually down today. So I was not expecting that move, trying to hold that 106. So that could be an interesting play there. But yeah, we saw that number there go 3.3% year over year, well above that 2.5% forecast. Was it 3.3 or 3.7, the number? But anyways, PPI does create a downside play there early, and now we're all the way back up and trying to figure out what this market wants to do.
The core was 3.
Yeah, well,
core was 3.7.
Right.
PPI was 3.3.
Right.
But either way, they were hot by 0.8. Both of them were hot by 0.8, which not necessarily good. Yay, the SSR demons just win again.
They always do.
They always do. This is the thing. It's supposed to keep the stock more stable. With CoreWeave, that you can't hit the bid as it's flushing, but it also means when it breaks 110, you might not be able to get a fill as CoreWeave continues to flush. I wouldn't be surprised if we see double digits today with the IPO lockup happening, or expiration on the lockup. I just got into NVIDIA for the first time. But let's go to the desk with Adara. Yuck, CoreWeave, yuck.
Yeah, I just want to mention here, we did have some comments as well coming out about the war going on between Russia and Ukraine. Trump making some comments now, too, apparently in a Fox News radio interview, saying that the Ukraine war is probably the most difficult one to stop, and that he thinks that with regards to this Putin meeting, that Vladimir Putin, quote, wants to get it done with regards to ending the war. Well, meanwhile, at the same time, IFX, which is a Russian news source, is reporting some comments from the Kremlin that suggest not that. Apparently, the Kremlin is saying that it would be a big mistake to predict the outcome of high-level negotiations between Russia and the United States, and that also apparently there are no plans to sign documents on the outcome of that summit. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens there, but lots of geopolitical tensions, I guess, happening right now. Back to you.
You're going to have to watch out maybe for the energy markets for sure. And at the end of the day, I feel as if this is not necessarily the politically correct thing you always want to say, but when it comes to news geopolitically, we care a lot more about tariffs and the deals. The market, I should say, not we. The market's going to care much more about that, and maybe the effects on oil are going to matter. But ultimately, it's not usually that big of an event, even if they were to strike a deal and end the war. I don't think you're going to get exactly what you would expect out of the market. It's not like we just start flying to the upside or anything like that. All right, here we go. NVIDIA, if I can get back in on that short on CoreWeave, I'll try, but I'm going to have to get this on the way to the upside instead of trying to hit it to the downside. Oh, don't. Okay. Yes. I thought my chart was going to crash there. It would just press back into that high. Missing a little data there, but that should be fine. If we break the top out, we're looking for a VWAP retracement on NVIDIA. But as said, someone just said in the chat, what the you-know-what CoreWeave. It's got a lot of things going on right now for CoreWeave. As I said, that lockup expiration matters. Whether or not a bunch of people dump their shares tomorrow morning, I don't know. But you can also have sellers trying to get out after earnings when it flushed after earnings and want to get out in front of any other sellers. So you have short-term traders but you know what, let's look at this here. Because you can't really talk about this without the context of this was $40 when the IPO came out. This was an IPO breakout trade at $65. the IPO breakout where it makes the range. It's a traditional trade. Look at what Robinhood did, or look at a bunch of names. When they had that IPO high and they retest it and break it, it's just a great look a lot of times to the long side. So this is still, was a double up after earnings on that trade and almost a triple up going into yesterday from the IPO price. So down on earnings, lockup expires, people way in the money on this. There's a lot weighing on the stock right now, so just want to lean into the short every chance we can get. But NVIDIA is the only thing I'm in right now as the position board has gone again.
Okay, we'll figure all that out. Yeah, so a good trade right here so far, as we'll wait to see if this market wants to eventually flush. I think some sort of a peace deal would not be great for the market, for the short. I think it would be great for a bid, but we're still in this short here, and here it comes right back in. I'm going to be green on the day with this trade if I covered here, but we're not going to do that. We're going to wait to see if we can get a little piece of a movement to the downside. So if you guys are following this trade, it's green and it's so far so good, but we had to wait for it. It's 10:13, and this is really the only trade that we had. That was a PPI wake-up call today for sure, as we get also a nice move down in Bitcoin. We haven't really covered that too much there today, but there goes Bitcoin to the downside. And, we talked about the relationship with Bitcoin and the Nasdaq. I mean, the Nasdaq's in huge bull run, and so is Bitcoin, and so is the whole market. The whole environment is very, very bullish right now, especially even gold. If you're going to look at something else, other than, gold's outperformed the S&P 500 over the last 25 years or something with this most recent run up. So it's dumping as well. So I don't think anything is spared today. There's crypto down 4%. I just showed you. There's gold down as well. So it's like, the dog wags tail or whatever, however that saying is. And I think it's just like higher tides lift all ships, but they also sink them. So right now, gold is going to the downside. Silver as well could be a play there if you're looking for some alternatives other than gold, but that has also had a move down, and this breakout actually fails there. But that was, I guess we're not failed breakout until this pulls back underneath this 50-period moving average, because it has broken out silver again from this 31.75 marker all the way to 36, and now trying to pull back into this 34 area is silver, and down another 1.7% on that. Let's just take a quick look on the banks. The banks can fly with earnings, with interest rate announcements as well, and they're the ones that are holding the market today. It looks like JP Morgan nicely up into 292, up 0.5%, holding the S&P down. Well, the S&P is still down 0.16, Nasdaq down 0.13, but it looks like some of the banking names are going higher today, including Citigroup up 0.48. So yeah, this is a strong space. Is it true for lesser known names like a SoFi, or lesser known? They're well known, but less market cap names. SoFi down 1.7%, 1.8 right there. Okay, come on, futures. Here we go, man. We are now finally, we just need to break VWAP. I don't want to get too excited right now because we're bouncing off the 200 period again, but I just bounced. So I'm going to put a bid, a small one, there for about 6 or 7% down in the 40s now, because that is now twice in a row that we've bounced right there off that 200 period moving average. We've been doing good getting out for sure, but we should be short 95s, not 94.70s. So need to have this go down a little bit more. If I was full position up there, I would be getting more aggressive on the out right now and then just holding something for the downside play, but we don't have a full position yet, and I still think it's going to break, and I don't want to get out of too much. But we are holding that level for sure. Is AMD must be going back upside. I feel like that's the long we need if there is anything. It's such a huge move.
No.
Now it's down. No, but just this move was up $6 right there, right off the open. And then now this retracement play back in. So.
I'd say it's looking pretty weak. It rejected 185 heavily. It's a bit of it's not really a double top on that time frame, but if you pull it to the daily chart, this is a double top on AMD. We'll see if it ends up holding up. Someone in the chat just said, when is the Berkshire news? I'm going to assume you mean, when do we find out what it is that they have in their 13F recently? Yep. I've not seen that. They tend to be, I feel like we get 13F just means all these big firms have to say what they've been doing recently and disclose their holdings and any new changes they've made. Realistically, I'm pretty sure Berkshire is notorious for being at the end of that cycle. You hear from them near as late as possible. So I don't know when we're going to find out what the mystery company is. A lot of people have been speculating that maybe it's UNH, but that's just all guesswork. We'll know when we know, and by then, like UNH will probably have already run a bunch, and maybe you don't want to chase it. That's just the nature of the game here. So, if you're in the right spot, I don't know that we get that like intraday. A lot of times you'll find that kind of stuff overnight, and we don't know it yet when it comes to Berkshire. So the market, again, not doing a heck of a lot here. There was no particular catalyst for the chip space. But if you look at AMD in that reversal, I'm kind of thinking, why aren't we at, you just said VWAP for the market. I'm thinking the same thing for NVIDIA. Like we're failing at 182 to go any higher, which we could still break out. I want to see it do what AMD was doing. But you have a day now where these two have maybe flipped it, where NVIDIA is going to be stronger than advanced micro devices. If that's the case, I don't mind flipping as well and saying I should be short the other one. But today, we took the 82. If it breaks out the high, I'm out, and I look to AMD. Thank you so much for Mark. The Realtor is back in the house. Kava puts. They reported this morning, I believe. Kava, ooh. You know that's a $2 stock now?
What? No, it's not.
Kava.
Kava?
No, that's sorry, Sava. I mean,
Oh.
It's Cassava Sciences. Like, it was
Right.
I saw that today. Cassava Sciences actually reported this.
Big Bear AI going.
BBI is going?
Yeah.
Kava puts, I'm imagining you got them yesterday or maybe this morning, either way. This was a very, very good bounce play in yesterday's trade. It just looks like it's giving it up today. Sometimes you got to give it more than just one day. We talk about the 3-day rule for bounces. I think that comes into play there for Kava before you try and catch any strays. This one broke down heavy on the daily chart through 71. And I never want to catch a falling knife when it loses support like this, unless it gets back and holds 70 a couple of days. You just want to stay away from that bad boy. It remains undefeated. Kind of it's not a big hit on NVIDIA relative to, like, say, Apple at the open, because we're able to get some profit, but it could not fall through to VWAP. NVIDIA seems stronger than AMD today, and if that means I have to flip, then it's CoreWeave and AMD that I want to the south side instead of NVIDIA. AMD under VWAP. AMD holding 185 looks pretty nasty there. I just heard in my ear, what was that, Walmart backing away from the trade desk? Did you hear that as well?
Yeah, I guess the trade desk has been a problem for a minute.
Oh man, they don't need more bad news here. The trade desk. If Walmart backing away from the trade desk, that just hit another fresh low. These guys got smoked on earnings, and it just held the low. Like literally, it had just made a double bottom, and now you're flushing again. So the trade desk getting smoked, that's obviously a gigantic customer. You're not going to find customers much bigger than Walmart, obviously, here. So that just dropped on the wire, massive volume spike. This feels like this should be, I'm never punching the low on news, but if it gets anywhere near 52 again, I'll probably take a shot at this. I just heard we're going to go to Adara as well for the small cap recap.
I can do that too. I was going to talk about this article. So this was posted about 4 minutes ago by The Information. Now, The Information is paywalled, so I cannot access it. But even just from reading the first bit, and again, if I see any longer posts of this, I am continuing to look and I'll let you know. It sounds like apparently the trade desk could be in danger of losing one of its most valuable clients. That would be Walmart. So it doesn't sound like this is officially ended yet. The Information, a lot of their articles are more kind of opinion type pieces. I want to provide those, I guess, those tidbits there. I'm going to continue to look into this, though, and if I get more info, I'll let you know. We also have some not so great commentary coming from Fed's Muslim right now, who's saying that inflation seems to be running close to 3%. Let's take a look here at RSLS, one of our looks here. This is Reshape Life Sciences. Yesterday, this company announced that they're actually going to be, I guess, combining businesses. They'll be trading under the ticker HIND. After this merger, that'll be tomorrow. Let's take a look here as well at XPON. Here's another one. This was an earnings winner here, XPON. Good look for XPON 360. You read more about this one in our Trader TV watch list. And then we have IVP. This is Inspire Veterinary Partners. Couldn't find any news on this one, but it is one that has rallied in the past. So IVP on watch today as well. Back to you.
Oh, the market's certainly, like, trade desk is acting like it's that is happening. But remember, you always want to see confirmation, right? Like rumor can take a stock to the downside, but if this gets refuted in the next few minutes, let's just say they come out with a statement, this could be right back at the volume weighted average price, or just jump up very quickly. So if you don't get that initial push, on some kind of flash news in the middle of the day, be it rumor or be it real, a lot of times I don't want to chase it. I just think it's a breakdown on the higher time frame. There's no question about it. And it doesn't look very, very good here for TTD at all. I mean, Walmart doesn't care. That's not a story for Walmart, but that's a story that could really punish Trade Desk heavily, a stock that was already under pressure. And it wasn't like the quarter was all that bad. It just growth wasn't where you wanted it to be. It just wasn't enough. It was kind of like Cisco. Yeah, you grew, but you didn't grow enough. And when the market's at highs and market valuations are stretched, you need to see big growth. You can ask Amazon about that. Amazon got punked on their earnings, and man, they were just printing money. It didn't matter.
Yep, Amazon's going to be the winner of that TTD news, so get ready for a bump up in Amazon. All right, so 977 viewers right now, over 9,000 watching, 9,200. Hit the like button, please, if you can, and let's get this number to 1.5K. If you haven't done it yet, hit it right now. We've got a lot of viewers watching, 9,100 of you. We're talking about all the names. We've got, I'm going to bring up the board again to have a quick little talk. We talked about waiting to see what Warren Buffett has to say. I think it could also be UPS, could be a name that they're looking to buy. Again, a bellwether name that's been really crushed to the downside. UPS does fit some of the, some of the characteristics with a dividend, with a strong American company, or has been pretty strong there, and well depreciated value in UPS. And you can see the last couple of days, a little bit of a bump up there for UPS. So we'll wait to see what that 13F has to say for Berkshire today. But I would think that UPS is going to be one of the names maybe that they've been buying. I don't know if it's the one that everyone's looking for. Neil mentioned UNH. I think UPS could also be it. Let me know if there's anything else in the chat that you guys think may be being bought over there by Berkshire. So, all right, Adair, what you got over there?
I just want to let you guys know I've been looking further into this TTD thing. So for one, again, like if you just even look at the top kind of headline piece of this article from the information, apparently it says that last year there was some evidence that Walmart was backing out of the TTD, or I guess like using less with TTD, making less deals. They were, I guess, renegotiated the contract. So sounds like this contract renegotiation that happened with TTD actually would have happened as of last year, according to the article. Furthermore, now worth noting, this is just on X, but apparently I was seeing some posts suggesting that the company's SEC filings show that they don't have a single customer, that TTD, doesn't have a single customer or client that takes up more than 10% of their revenue. So even if Walmart is backing out, it wouldn't be more than, like, it doesn't even sound like they're even 10% of the company's revenue based on SEC filings. Now, again, this is all speculation, but I just want to clarify. It looks like this, according to the report, this Walmart renegotiation of its contract with TTD happened as of last year, unless there's more details. And B, does not seem like there may be as big of a customer as the headline kind of makes it seem. Back to you.
Yeah, it's still, that certainly sounds, even 10% is still, when you're as big as the Trade Desk, that's a healthy chunk. And you have to remember, like, when you're comparing it to expectations, now all of a sudden every analyst out there is going to have to adjust on they're going to have to revise their earnings, they're going to have to adjust all their expectations. You might see some analyst changes or maybe downgrades in the next couple of days. That turns out to be true. But you know what is also true? You've seen Trade the Pool here for a while now, everybody. And now they've got something new and special just for all of you. A free ebook, featuring 4 proven swing trading strategies from Trade the Pool's top funded traders. Inside, you'll see exactly how they approach the markets, how they manage risk, and what setups they rely on, so you can learn and grow from what actually works. Download it now by scanning the QR code on screen or hitting the link in the description, and you can peruse that for FREE. Shout out to Trade the Pool, and appreciate them. Yeah, I don't know. I feel that's pretty bearish for
$3.99
the Trade Desk.
Yeah, no, I don't like that news at all.
I don't like that at all for them.
I would have shorted that. I just, I'm not sure. Like, maybe we have to wait for 50 to break or something for TTD. And again, there was the miss, and you're running into some support now. Digital advertising and all of that is changing. Especially with Gemini and ChatGPT and all that, it's no longer like this click the link kind of game. So yeah, I would be a little bit nervous for shareholders here of TTD. I'm not in the name, and nor do I want to buy this dip. I think when you see names like this that go to the downside, you have to be able to figure out why you'd want to buy it, and just from 90 down to 50, I mean, sure, if you're going to take a 40% haircut, that might be good enough. But then you have to make sure that you mark these as outs. The only problem is tomorrow, if the announcement comes that they lost whoever else, that that would be another 10% or so. And then next thing you know, these revenue, as Neil said, these guidances and all that need to come back in, right? Because if you're guiding 5 billion and you just lost 10%, well, now you're guiding 4 or 5. And if you put that on to their already disappointing earnings call, then yeah, this name probably does go lower.
You know what the question is? Think of this. If they had missed by an extra 10% on expectations on earnings, what do you think would happen to the stock?
Right.
That's basically what this news is. It's like
getting worse.
Exactly.
Like this is just one customer. Like plus we know that Amazon is also well involved in this space now. Dara's got news on Nvidia.
I do have news on NVIDIA. So in case you guys missed it yesterday, Fubon Financial released a report saying that NVIDIA's Rubin chip could face delays. We know that AMD actually pushed pretty high off of that news. Well, now apparently NVIDIA's come out and saying that the Rubin chip is on track. So again, it looks like NVIDIA is denying these claims from Fubon Financial, suggesting that their chip is maybe a little bit delayed and that AMD might have the chance to catch up. I also want to mention we've got a lot of comments coming from both Donald Trump and Feds Muslim. I'll start with Trump here. He is saying some things about this Russia meeting, so just be aware here for the market, specifically if you're looking at oil or anything like that. He's saying that a deal will be made at the second meeting, I guess, with Russia, but he notes that there's a 25% chance that the Putin meeting could fail. So that is certainly of note. Then we've got Feds Muslim saying that he believes it's too early to say what the right decision is in September. So as I mentioned, there's become a clear divide in the Fed in terms of people who seem to be very pro-cut and people who seem to be very pro-waiting for data. This is just one example of that. We've got Feds Muslim saying that it might be too early to say what the right decision is for September with regards to rates. Back to you.
Well, that's not the most ridiculous argument now that you've got you're playing a balancing game between inflation and the labor market, which I guess is not a lot of fun for them right now after that print that we just got on PPI. But yeah, the odds are oddly enough. The last I checked, we were still at like 96%. I think we had maybe gone to 93 from 100% before 8:30 to 93 to 96. So maybe this needs some time to simmer, but the market seems to still think that they're going to cut in September. There's going to be a lot of skepticism over that with this print, and maybe even more division than we already saw. It was a heck of a reversal. Anyways, just jumping back over, like CoreWeave, maybe it doesn't want to fall too much further given that the market's trying to go. And if I zoom it out, if you look at what this stock has done in the last week, in that big move going into earnings, they dumped on earnings. It wasn't like the numbers were all that bad, but again, the stock is a triple up from the lows. The IPO breakout price is actually more than that if you go to the actual low. This is where support is. Down around 106 into 110. Like this is the chop area where it held on a pullback and then started going ham, breaking out. So it's in the zone where I could expect maybe it's going to bounce. Also, once you go 10% down, it extends another day SSR, so I guess that could be a little bit of a thing. I could see that happening, but I think you could be catching some kind of a temporary bid. I tried to get it on the way down again after it made another. Every time it makes a lower high, I just see the confirmation and then look to short the next bar if we can get it. That's what I did here. That's what I was able to do there. So every single time we make another one and then we try to take the short in. One of the names you guys were all over this morning was TeraWulf. And it is, wow, it's just continuing to go higher and higher. 44% now. Great runner. I'm surprised at least a little bit when I checked. My source said 12% short float, and I was like, that can't be. I thought it was a little bit light. I'll double check to see if I can find a different number on that. I thought it would be bigger than that. And you guys let me know if you see any bigger numbers. But it is continuing to break out. It's holding the volume weighted average price. I'm sure Sharif will be all over this one on the midday. But as I was just showing on the daily chart, when you get above 8 on TeraWulf, then you start getting into the bag holding type levels. Like up here from late last year, where every single time it would hold above $8, you don't have any closes above $8. It'll get there. It ain't closing up. It hasn't closed up there in a hot minute. So every single time, that doesn't mean it can't break and go higher. It's just historically, That's a price where the buyers have lost within 24 hours and lost heavily. So that's what we call bag holding levels, where you trap any buyers in and it gets back to that price and they want to be able to sell. It's like, hey, it's come all the way, I'm break even, let's get out. And then they do, and sometimes a GameStop's on them, or I guess that's not really good. Let's call it a Carvana's on them. You can't say GameStop anymore. Like if you're going to talk about a squeeze name that continues, you got to say Carvana or like Newegg.
Newegg is the new GameStop. I can't believe when you showed me that chart earlier. About
this is going to be an epic short, probably, but not yet. Newegg, $120. The spread on this is stupid. It's like a $2 spread right now. It's insane, the spread on this stock. It's not very tradable for a day. Unless you have like early longs, or maybe you're trading this through options. But there's not a lot of printing. When I flipped to the stock just now, everything on the tape was a deep print. There wasn't even a single lit print in my entire time in sales. So that's pretty untradeable for us.
Yeah, we got stopped out there. So people asking, I talked about this level here on the futures. So it's a stop out right there. We got stopped out at 75% of the trade. I'll put on a little bit more just in case that was sort of the topping tail candle. We don't get a spike up in volume here on the futures. And I was obviously sitting here not expecting this kind of a move today. I mean, you guys asked me earlier, and I just said, hey, honestly, I'm pretty bearish today with that kind of a report coming through there. Hottest PPI number since 2021. Did not expect the market to run up, but hey, sometimes it kind of does the opposite of where you think the market should go, and that's part of the reason why. And we say, I mean, Obi says it all the time. It's the hardest, venue to try to make some money in, because it's just so competitive. And sometimes you got to think a little bit outside the box. And today was definitely not a day for me to be going short. But the shorts were fine. They printed. But you guys remember we got out double there. We got out double there as we noticed that we were holding this 200 period moving average. So of course I said I'm not going to short it until we get back up to 95. So we did do that, and then it broke that 95.20, and that 95.20 area was yesterday's levels. If we sort of zoom back out right into here, so we were talking about this area right there. This goes all the way back in. It's funny because we said, oh, we're right back to Tuesday's levels, and now we're right back to yesterday's levels. And I would not have thought with that kind of a number that this reaction was happening today. So a big fail there. We can't celebrate the wins without talking about the losses, and that one's a loss there for sure, as we waited for that to happen, and it just sort of blew our face up to the upside there. It's too bad too, because I was thinking about shorting Palantir, and I didn't want to go double short, like short the market and short Palantir, but this would have been much better for a trade. This would now be 70 cents in the money, and I was about to call it up before we got stopped out there of the futures, and I did call it up, and I was like, I like the short here because you're underneath this 200 period moving average right there. You have some sort of protection a little bit there on this bump up. You are not, we know that Palantir, if the market falls, can fall, but on the same side of it, if you're wrong, this stock could completely rip up. So Palantir holding fort right there. Nice little downside play now in the futures happening, but again, we're looking to get a lower tick here. It's too bad that we did get stopped out of a little bit of those shares there, 75% of them, but maybe we do get a pullback here just a little bit, as Bitcoin also making a move back to 119. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin, it almost felt like that was one of the things that was flushing the most. Was Bitcoin, and when the number came out, that was pretty nasty. Speaking of Bitcoin or things that are adjacent to it, we got a super chat from Mike Lowry. It's Mike Lowry.
It's Mike Lowry now, eh?
Hood, and that's it. Just Hood. Sure, why not? Robinhood's having a pretty solid day. If you look at 830, all it did is create a bottom, and we've been rallying on Hood. So that one continues to go. No breakout just yet. Hood seemed like it took it on the chin. The hardest off of the open on Bullish Day, the IPO day. And it's just trying to get back some of that range. Like, watch out for this, like 111. Like, that's where you could run into some more trouble. 111, like 110 into 111, where the buying ceased, and then we had lower highs all the way through. You need to break out that chop area before you've just confirmed. All you've really done is caught a low and gone into resistance here. So as much as the market's breaking out, I know this is up 1%. It's got some work to do here for Robinhood. Remember how high this is up. It seems like it's on one of those little temporary pullbacks for Robinhood, and those have lasted, sometimes a few days to up to a week or two. on Hood, and then we get the resumption back into the highs. Let's go up to the desk. We've got Adara.
Yeah, keep an eye here on the market. Fed's Muslim commenting on the possibility of a 50 basis point rate cut. We know that a lot of individuals, including Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and potential Fed chair candidate Mark Summerlin, have said that they believe that a 50 basis point rate cut is the right choice for the Fed in September. Meanwhile, Fed's Muslim saying that this decision would not be supported by the state of the economy in the U.S. or the data. So Fed's Muslim coming hard against that 50 basis point rate cut. In terms of other decisions for September, he said that they're going to have to wait and see, I guess, what all the data says leading up to the meeting. But he certainly does not believe right now that the data supports that 50 basis point cut that we really know the Trump administration is pushing for. Back to you.
We keep on supporting this bid here on the futures. So I think that, going green here today, we talked about going red to green. It looks like that's going to be the play again here today. We were huge red all the way back to green. We tried to fight this trade yesterday. It did not work out for us, and we're fighting it again here today. So we're very close to getting stopped out. And how you can check all of these trades and backtest is through eSignal. If you do scan that QR code right now on your screen, you're going to get 1 month free of eSignal. So do that. Again, 24-hour trading upon us, even right now. I mean, not completely 24 hours, but you want the blue ocean, you want the moon, you want all those action, Nifty 50 in India over there. We've had obviously some good trades happening in Hong Kong overnight. Make sure you do scan it. Grab it right now. We've partnered up with ICE and eSignal to give you an opportunity here for free. This is not even existing in the eSignal world. So if you are a fan of charting and you like obviously consistent charts, grab eSignal. They're always up unless you have some internet connection issues. They also connect over 50 plus brokers. It's the screeners. It's the customizability. You can look at 500 symbols at once. So yeah. All right.
Well, speaking of which,
we just got 08s down there, but it looks like the futures are starting to make a move down. Yeah, you have eSignal up right
okay,
there?
so very quick, I'll explain. We took another out here. Higher low just got put in CoreWeave. So each bounce has a little bit less volume and a little bit less volatility. Market breaking out the high, and it held the low. Really just want to stay short, but we're starting to round out the bottom a little bit on CoreWeave. What I wanted to point out is we have an IPO today, MIAX. The Miami Exchange. Where is my? I see it's a buy and balance of 309
million.
No, 309,000 with an auction price of $28, and you can see here like it gives you a spread of like 28 to 30. So. What do we open? 1 o'clock we opened or something like 1:01, I think we opened yesterday. So I don't know when this is going to open up. It's nowhere near as big or as juiced up and oversubscribed as you would have had yesterday in Bullish or the more recent IPOs. So this isn't like I'm taking the opening print and we're just going to close our eyes and go long. Not at all. But if you're watching this, MIAX, that's
the futures just went.
Yeah, nice gateway. We actually use that gateway oftentimes here at Real Trading. But again, don't know exactly when they'll open up. We'll be able to give you updates throughout. It's never had an imbalance more than a few 100,000 shares. It's never crept into the million shares to buy, which makes me less excited about it. Let's go to Adara.
Let's talk about this sector board because we have this whole green to red story today in the market, and you're kind of seeing this reflected in the sector board as well. Red to green. We had this nice pushback to the upside after this disappointing or harder than expected PPI data, that came out pre-market. We had energy, minerals, utilities, consumer services, consumer non-durables, and producer manufacturing. Those are all still very much red today. Producer manufacturing is actually being dragged down here by Deere, down 7.5% on earnings, and energy minerals certainly on watch as we get a lot of geopolitical talks ahead of Donald Trump's meeting with Vladimir Putin of Russia tomorrow. That being said, though, there are some bright spots in this market. Finance being buoyed here by names like Visa, Schwab, and WFC. Retail trade looking pretty good. Costco and notably Amazon strong today despite weakness in a lot of other names in this sector. And then we've got the tech names because, of course, there are a lot of these that are relatively flat on the day. But then you've got Netflix up 2.5%, Oracle up 1.5%, Microsoft, Nvidia, Broadcom, all lightly green, GE up 1.5%. So just because there are a lot of these sectors that are still red doesn't mean that much like this, red to green move that we've had. There are still some sectors here that you can look at that we are seeing some strength, guys. Back to you.
Right. Get it, Netflix. 2.5 points will play.
Yeah, we like Netflix for sure.
That definitely plays.
All right. Yeah, 185.50 here. We'll try to fight a little bit here with our friend Palantir, 185.51. We'll stop out if it gets back up into that level. Oops, that's still the TQs. There it is right here, Palantir. Okay, so the market is now blasted off there. We got out of our short. You know, sometimes you're going to make calls that obviously don't work out. In the short today didn't. We already talked about that. You know, Bitcoin might have been the play as well. We saw Ethereum down 4% at one point today. Now Ethereum's only down 1%, so that's battled back nicely. Same as IBIT with the Nasdaq. That's battled back, or with the Nasdaq has battled back as well. But Bitcoin's still down 3%. It looks like Ethereum would be the one that is starting to go. So yeah, nice move there to the upside on this market. IBIT not following, but Ethereum definitely is, as there it goes now back through. So good play there, up to 35.60 there for ETHA.
You know what's weird though? BMNR can't get going.
Yeah, well that's
the thing.
That's a thing.
It's a little different for BMNR. Those treasury plays, sometimes they're good for a while, but then they start to run out of steam. So even with Ethereum breaking it back out, this is still red. I don't know what SBET is doing. That would be another one that you could watch, but it's failing the high over and over again. The good news is it could at least play some catch up. That could, if you extend the trend a little bit further out into the day, you can have a later breakout here on BMNR. I think SBET is one of the other big ones that a lot of people look at here in the space. What are we doing on this? Similar story. This cannot seem to break out through the highs, but you know what can? The door is open through the highs on open door. 14%.
Yes, you can.
It's alive. It is alive, and it's going again. They got compliance back. They don't have to reverse split. They don't have to pull a Mullen because obviously it spent several days above $1. It hasn't been there in a very long time now, and it looks like it's gone squeezing again. So everyone that bet on this demise is kind of getting punked. That it's not $3 that I'd be watching out for. It's really like 280 into $3 on the daily chart. That seems like it's a bit of a chop zone. If it breaks through 3, it could absolutely fly to the upside. I'm just still looking over at Core. Like Corby is the only thing that continues to trend down. So if I'm favoring short, it seems like that's the one to constantly get in on any kind of a pop. So I'm waiting for the next pop there on CoreWeave. And I just saw Bullish. Bullish is, it just broke trend.
Oh no, did it? Upside?
Yeah, no. Well,
finally fading
it broke the uptrend.
Right.
And I'm eyeballing it, but I know it did. I'm kind of just doing it visually. Yeah, there it is. So there's the upward trend. I was shorted into this high, but there's the trend break. I did not just move that. Anyways, I'm not going to redraw. You guys get the idea. It's already happening down the downside. I'm going to look for an entry on this one to the south side. If the market's trending up, wait for something to break trend or get to a big level. And it looks like Bullish, short early, but now trying to go even more heavily. I might end up in AMD if this is the case and we can't catch anything on Bull. AMD can't even get back to VWAP as the market's pressing higher. See that news that was a nothing burger? They refuted that NVIDIA Rubin, and NVIDIA goes up, AMD goes down. I can see why that would persist. Sometimes you got to get the story right. That's why we have Adara.
All right, right now Palantir is making that move down. So finally we're in the 40-cent winner now with PLTR. We sort of chose this name. Remember we were talking about, like, do we want to choose the futures or do we want to choose Palantir? And we finally just wised up there. We went with PLTR. So we'll take advantage of this move down and take out 25%. Of the trade. So we'll take it out right there. We got a great fill at 55. We'll see if we want to break. That's 44s there. I'm actually waiting at 40s. So if we do break below, we should get another tick out here right at the 50-period moving average. And then we will look, of course, for the 200 to be ultimate support, and that's down there at 184. So we'll take it out as we start to fall back in, if we even do that. We might have just bounced off there. Let me take another out here at 60 if we're able to get that. One more spike down should give us this out there. There it is. Okay, so nice little move down. We'll take that. And I still am bidding something at 40s. Maybe we can get that. But Palantir is giving it up just a little bit, so we like that trade. Now from going green to red, red to green now, up zeros. So we'll wait to see if it does give a little bit of a pullback. I'm bidding 40s. We'll see if we can get that for this market move on Palantir back down in. Name that we didn't go through too much today, Tesla at all. They got up to 340 again. 340 has been a pretty good level for Tesla. That high into yesterday was 342 and change. So needs a little bit of work here. The market is ripping higher and Tesla is still red. So that would be something there to potentially look at again if you are thinking about market strength versus weakness. That could be a trade. Tesla, as it's a little weaker. You know, we noticed it. We got into the short there with Palantir. We still have a small futures trade there as well. But right now, futures going upside. Tesla coming back in. So there it is. So there we go. We finally get it, man. Spin this a little bit for us right there now on Palantir as that's coming back in. The futures going higher. Palantir coming in right now. So I don't know what's, again, leading this move right now. I mean,
Bullish is tanking now.
Bullish is tanking. Okay, so if you just look here at the hot list, Wolf up 43%. AMD right now maybe making a little bit of a move, obviously. So let's have a quick little look there as well for advanced micro devices. Yeah, I mean, these chip names might be helping this move higher there. So that's for sure. Other than that, Wolf, AMD, Tesla's on there. Trib, Qs, Open Door, wow, up 12% as well. This Trib stock here, boys, TRIB, what is this? Trinity Biotech right now, up 160% or so right there. Nice move higher there for Trinity. Palantir's coming back in. The futures fall back, but there goes Palantir. Nice downside play as well. Robinhood now back to 110, so that's nice. And NVIDIA up to 183 again. So NVIDIA holding fort here in this market.
Don't forget about the 84 level on NVIDIA. Every single day this week, NVIDIA has tagged 184 and reversed. The day that it breaks, we're going to have the break. You can always get a breakout trade because in reality, there's always going to be liquidity. But you can't always get a breakdown trade because that is now the third time that the lower the day breaks on CoreWeave and you can't get short. So every single time it breaks down, I just cannot. It's like it'll bounce off the low, and then we try to short it again and miss because it's SSR, and then it's the same thing here. CoreWeave now 9% to the downside. Bullish is bouncing off VWAP, but let's go over to NVIDIA. The market saying, who cares about a hot PPI print? It doesn't matter. Well, I'd like to think it matters, but it doesn't matter what I think. Certainly doesn't matter what I think. I just wanted to quickly show you guys ETH. Ethereum.
Market doesn't care.
Brick wall at 47, exactly where it flushed, and ETH is gone. This is a 3-minute chart, so it's about 15 to 20 minutes that this is brick walled at 47. And if you look at Bitcoin on a similar time frame, kind of more random of a level, like I would argue you can't really call it big resistance on Bitcoin, but ETH starting to run into it. So if you're watching SBET or any of the treasury plays or BMNR, note that ETH is running into some resistance there. Wow, NVIDIA does seem like it wants to get to that 184. This is what I was talking about. All week long, same level. I don't know if it's the same seller, but certainly it's telling you what's going on in this stock. Yeah, I would argue Bitcoin, Levi in the chat, Bitcoin is pretty strong off of some of those lows. But ETH, as I said, 4,700, a bit of trouble. Only $170 away from the all-time high. ETH is so close, Adara.
DXY actually a little bit green here, but kind of pretty choppy, just hanging around at that $98 level. I've talked about that a lot. We're still chilling there. Let's talk here about this PPI data because every single PPI print of the 4 was above expectations. They are hotter than expected. PPI year over year, 3.3% versus 2.5% expected. PPI month over month, 0.9% versus 0.2% expected. Core PPI year over year, 3.7% versus 3% expected, and core PPI month over month, 0.9% versus 0.2% expected. Initial jobless claims were a little bit lower than expected, but those PPI prints really did initially shock the market to the downside, as we have discussed. Now, we also had some comments from Fed's Muslim to talk about, which are pretty interesting. We know that we've had a couple different figures involved with or associated with the Trump administration, including Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Mark Summerlin, who is being floated around here as a potential candidate for the Fed chair. They've both said that they believe that a 50 basis point cut in September would be appropriate for the Fed. Well, Fed's Muslim said that in general, he doesn't really want to comment on what he thinks is right with regards to the September decision until they have more data. But he did say that right now the data does not support a 50 basis point cut. We'll have to wait and see what Donald Trump says about all of this. Of course, President of the United States making a statement today at 1 p.m. I'll be covering that live for you guys. He's said to be giving it from the Oval Office. But if there's any Truth Social posts about PPI or anything related, of course, I will let you guys know right away. Back to you.
Yes, thank you,
Right, we'll wait for Sir Donald to come through there again.
Presidente.
But, yeah, you and I were just mentioning here, and yesterday, by the way, I screwed up what was for lunch. So yesterday, even yesterday, I was talking with the coaches because we have our tournament on Friday, and I was like, all right, so what time are we going to get there tomorrow? And they're like, wait a minute, today's Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday. I was like, right. Yesterday we talked about Chipotle glazed chicken. That's today.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about what was yesterday. All right, so no surprise here, but a surprise for everybody else. Yesterday was beef stew. So I don't know, what was your opinion on that, Joe? Did you have some beef stew yesterday? And how was? Sharif, by the way, mentioned to me that Joe likes to complain a lot.
Joe is very
and
picky in particular about his food.
Like to complain a lot. It was what the. That's wow. So now, yeah. So we'll talk in 7 minutes. We'll get Sharif's reason for that right there. I don't hear Joe complaining that much.
Get this man some apple pie.
Yeah.
Get that man some apple pie.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm talking. Sharif mentioned it.
What have you ever complained about? Beef
well, right now he's complaining.
He's just complaining right now.
Right. It started from him complaining that Mark left a mess over there, and now how dare he speak ill of Mark. Joe, what is your problem?
Mark is literally hard
Look
at
at
work
this guy.
right behind us as we speak.
All right.
Right
Wow.
here.
Well, now we know the truth behind Joe. But today is beef stew, mashed potatoes, and seasoned vegetables. I know, Joe. I mean, get with the program over here.
He just said that, Joe.
Too busy complaining over there to realize. I even asked him, what did you think of the beef stew? But anyways, tomorrow's good. Well, Neil and O be here tomorrow. They'll talk all about that. But President Trump right now speaking on Fox News Radio regarding immigration. So, I don't know. He's working on a plan for all of that. Right now, he's been talking about that for a minute. So Palantir does make a move back. We were able to scalp out of this. We have still 60% of this trade still on. We got out of 40% as it came into the 50-period moving average. This is our second trade. Our first trade was on the TQs, and that has not worked out. But now it's trying to work out for us. We're a little bit back into this name. As we're starting to fall just a little bit, we'll take a little bit of a bid out here as we have now tried to absorb sort of that hit there. It was not a good one. We did lose on shorting the market. I mean, I honestly didn't think after a PPI of 3.3 versus 2.7, or and then there was the year over year and the month over month, all came hotter than expected. Was not expecting the market to go green today as much as it has. We were down. I mean, this is the number right here, whoosh, with volume. So, the rhetoric that I was talking about was that we probably do have a good chance of coming back to flat there today, and that's where we wanted to short it, and we did short that, but we wound up losing on it. So now we'll have to wait to see. Bears are always right. I saw someone in the chat, just a matter of timing. You could say that for both sides. Obviously, you have to sit in your trade and absorb it. So right now, we are getting to the downside right now in the futures. We'll put another bid out there. I'm bidding nowhere else, so we got to get some bids out here, especially if we came back into this 95 area. We'll take it out at yesterday's top, right here, 95.20s, right into that level. So we'll take some more out. Now we'll wait to see if we can get a little bit lower here in the TQs. Palantir coming back in as well, so two good shorts on right now. I see you've got AMD, which is hopefully a good one. We're still short TQs. Let's see if this market potentially has found a top here as Trump's talking more and more and more.
Yeah, if he says anything related to the market, obviously we'll let you guys know, that being the president. There is another expected talk at 1 o'clock and then a meeting at the end of the day. NVIDIA is just stronger than AMD. AMD lost VWAP. AMD then broke trend after losing VWAP, so entry at 182 on the trend break. Tried to add to it. Might be able to. It just bounced off 181.5. As long as it holds the prior bar, that's the rule. Stop goes to the prior bar. Look for it to retrace into the low of the day. CoreWeave, unfortunately, CoreWeave just continued. CoreWeave's now I don't know, like a couple of ticks from going 10% to the downside. I'm not really thinking SSR bounce on this play today because it's already short sell restricted from yesterday, so it doesn't really matter that it gets 10% down, but it does put it in play for tomorrow because it will be SSR again tomorrow, as long as this, at some point, that number here, I don't know why I'm pointing at the screen, if that gets to 10%. CoreWeave has just been a short the entirety of the day. What wasn't was yesterday's big IPO. There's one today, but it's not a big IPO. It's a smaller one, MyX, and we will cover it. It's not like, we'll talk about MyX, and maybe I'll give you an idea what it's looking like. It's a bigger buy and balance. It's actually 500,000 to buy, so the buy and balance has increased on MyX. But Bullish has actually been bullish today.
Those Palantir.
Riding the volume weighted average price. It didn't reject 86. I thought that was second level, but it is rejecting 84 to 85. If we make a nice lower high in here, I want to get back into looking for the short on Bullish. I've been bearish on it this morning, but once it started breaking away from that 78, it's like, yeah, stay away from it and wait for it to set back up. So I want to see a nice little lower high that we can work into on Bullish.
Yeah.
Oh, Nimit's in the chat?
Yeah, Nimit will be here about 2 p.m. He was mentioning to me, so we'll shout out to Nimit. But right now, we'll shout out to hopefully,
another one.
And then hopefully we can give you
another one.
And then if we're lucky enough,
another one.
But for right now, there it is, $1 right now in the money. So the Dollar Club is here right now for Palantir. And, you know, obviously I'm a big Palantir bull, but today we'll go turn a little bearish on that as we sort of found this top. We gave it to you actually 3 times. We only took it the 3rd time. So lucky charms right there that it finally turns out for us. But there it is right into VWAP. We said that would be, I'm just going to bid out a little bit more now. I'll punch some out there at 04 just to make sure we get that out right now on Palantir because it's at VWAP. And we now have 40% left as here we go. Oh man, as if, dude, as if. I just got to get better at everything, first of all. Shout out to my wife. But if you, I just got stopped out there, and it's like, again, it pushes the limits. I seem to make tops more often than not, but you know, we getting better at staying the course and really trying to trade these things to our best of our ability. And I just need to figure out maybe a few more indicators, get going into the account because the shorts there just had to wait for it. So I don't know. I'm going to do a little bit more work. Message me at TraderTV Sean on Instagram and on Twitter if you can solve my problem. And yeah, I don't know. I'm going to try to get better at that. But there it is right now. Yes, sir. We got the Palantir trade is like really, I don't know. It's not going into the gates of hell, but this has saved the net from disaster there. I mean, we don't have this trade, then we only have the futures, and that would have been the L. The futures are printing now, but we're there. It goes. Yes, we just got 75 there on Palantir. So a nice move in there for PLTR right now, down at about $1.15, and just stay the course. We talked about that the other day. It's trade your book, trade your plan. And only Neil, myself, and all of us see the share sizes that we have and the nets that we're putting up and all of that. But on that note, yesterday was a pretty big day. Let's just go over right here the money that was made in and around real trading yesterday. This is again brought to you by Real Trading. This is where we trade, all of us trading here on this platform, and they put up top traders. So yesterday we had someone trading the Canadian market, $23,000. These are all US dollars. Then we have the Nasdaq New York and someone trading pink sheets. They made 22 grand yesterday, followed by again more. I mean, shout out to Canada. Right there. I don't know why this guy didn't trade Canada. But there it is. Canada, Chicago, and Nasdaq. Nasdaq again. Canada, Nasdaq, New York there, 5,900. Canada. That's what?
Number 8, that's you.
You think this is me?
Yeah.
I traded Blush yesterday or whatever. Was that a Nasdaq name or New York name?
It's not Blush.
No, Nasdaq is, no, I'm not this guy. Yeah, it's NYSE. So if you want to look to someone that's traded New York and Nasdaq, then you got to go a little bit higher to find that trader. But anyways, as we go, it's a good trade yesterday, obviously there. And that's how you can tell, because we talked about my big trade yesterday was on BLSH, and of course it's a New York name. So and today we got stopped. We made money, then got stopped out real quick. Oh, it's past 11 o'clock. I got to get out of here. All right. Yeah, we'll watch
There's
out.
no time limits around here. No, just kidding.
No, for me there is, because especially if I hit.
Well,
yeah, because swimming, the lanes are only open from 11 to 12. But today I was thinking about, doing leg day, Sharif. So, we'll see what's going on with that.
No, just
Yeah, no, I don't know. I just.
no. There's only so much. There's only so much time at lunchtime because you still got to eat. And everything.
Yeah. You know, we got to be back here. We'll be back here for 2 o'clock. So shout out to everybody that's traded with us here today. You know, I think we went over a bunch of names.
A lot to cover. And remember,
lots of good talk.
We've heard from the president already. We're going to hear again at 1 o'clock. So hot number on inflation. We'll see what he has to say about it. I'm sure we'll hear a few Trump impressions from Sharif. And maybe Joey Options will find something to complain about. We'll be back at 2 o'clock. Right. Go get him, gentlemen.